anything. OpTic going to want to keep this one a little bit more standard. Is there anything compLexity can maybe do in the ban protect to?
compLexity like to get creative. They're not afraid to ban something like Quick Draw. They're not afraid to ban like Blast Suppressor. Not sure if we'll see it here, but they're certainly a team that's capable of it.
All right, well, the Simtex coming off from Nameless.
Yeah, they know Karma loves to rock Danger Close as of late.
Mixes it up a little bit here. Overclock coming off. I'm trying to think, you still
It looks like they're trying to attack Karma here for the most part.
You still have high caliber. Do they they might even attack Kinetic? We've seen teams take that out a lot for Scump. You don't want him to get rolling at all.
I think Formal takes out high caliber. Yeah, let's see what Ricky decides to do now. The Shiva is still in play.
I don't know if they mind the Shiva as much as maybe. Oh, they do. Okay, I was thinking maybe Kinetic Armor. We've seen that taken out a lot to try and slow Scump down, but they are going to ultimately take out the Shiva. I don't know if I'd be that scared of that if I'm compLexity, but we'll see. If the Simtex ban, I wouldn't minded seeing something like Stock or Blast Suppressor or just something with a little bit more variety from them.
I was leaning more towards Stock because not only does it affect Formal, it affects Scumpy as well as Crimsix, the players who are going to be using Stock on their weapons, whether it's an assault rifle or a SMG. But yeah, I think I would have liked something more of a Stock ban than the last one we saw at Shiva.
Okay, well, rounding out the specialist draft here, nothing too shocking thus far. You see 2 weapons on the side of OpTic Gaming here. Will Ricky round it out?
Okay.
Well, 3, yeah, they end up going to the side 2. So Ricky's, you got to think, going to definitely go weapon here. Yeah, he'll take the Purifier out. You'll have one for either side. The main difference is going to be what? It's going to be Camo versus Tempest on either side. Who's going to be able to get better advantage of that? I mean, active Camo can be incredible for breaking into hard points. Tempest, if you connect your shots, can be amazing. We've seen players using that more and more. But for this matchup, I mean, compLexity, you got to stop the floodgates. You've lost, I think,
you got to stop the bleeding.
Three or four in a row here at this point. Whereas OpTic's been the opposite of the spectrum. They've just been on a roll here. Again, this is all about seeding. Both of these teams, I believe, well, OpTic definitely safe. compLexity should be safe after the H2K loss. It's now just trying to hold on to their seed, not drop to potentially 8th, because this could be a first-round matchup at stage 1.
Depends on how compLexity finish off the season. I mean, they have some very tough matches ahead, but as you were just saying, they're secured in the top 8 at least going into the stage 1 finals. But OpTic Gaming, they're a team that they've been on a tear as of late. They won the most recent 25K, by the way. They've won 3 of the 4 that were available between stage 1 and 2. So they've just been a team that's just been on a huge tear.
Well, we appreciate you fans today and viewers. You guys have been bringing us a lot of questions today. As we mixed it up a little bit. Instead of us bringing you the questions, you guys have been asking us. It's Saul, Andy, do you miss the Denial squad for Advanced Warfare? Now, is this the actual squad? Or are we talking more the organization? I know we've seen, I think I saw Robbie tweet about wanting to get back into Call of Duty, the owner of Denial, so they could be back. If you mean the actual roster, we had Replays, JCap, Clayster, Attach. I mean, it's hard to miss it when half of those guys went over to the FaZe side of things, and now this FaZe team has been so dominant. Would I love to see Denial get back in the mix of things as an organization? Sure, but it's hard to miss that actual squad just because you've got bits and pieces of it across FaZe, across Envy, and they've all been seeing success with their various teams.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah, if we're talking about the COD Champs Denial team, which I assume is the case. Yeah, no, I missed you through Advanced Warfare. I miss casting with you. But now we're here. It's our final game of the night.
Yep.
Hardpoint. Probably OpTic Gaming's best game mode. This is going to be a tough one for compLexity, but can they get the upset here?
Yeah. The reason why I wanted to highlight Nameless in the pre-match discussion was because I think compLexity are going to have a tough time matching the slang from OpTic Gaming. It seems to be a constant theme whenever you're going up against OpTic is how do you combat the massive slang potential they bring to each and every game mode. And I think Nameless is going to be the key to success here for compLexity. I think if he's having not just a great game, but a phenomenal game, that's when compLexity can realistically take some games off of OpTic here.
Well, let's look at weapons. I'm going to go through compLexity's side. You got a Mana War for Parasite, VMP for Miracles. Ricky is going to be going VMP as well. And then we'll check. Let me see what Nameless is going to opt to go with. Nameless will be rocking an M8. So let's see how the break goes. First man in is going to be Ricky, setting up trophies here, trying to deal with the pressure. You see on X-Ray a couple players outside, and they are going to force their way in. Scump and Crim both coming up with kills there as they've now locked up down middle.
And one thing OpTic Gaming always do well is they trust their teammates. So you saw Karma, he was in position to cut off one whole doorway. The rest rest of the OpTic Gaming members inside the hill, they didn't have to worry about that. So they trusted Karma to watch it, and then they just turned around and focused on the other door. So it's going to be OpTic Gaming now trying to set up to break. Formal will make his way right through the middle of the map, and just like that, just deletes Nameless off of the map. But the hardpoint still in control of compLexity. Here comes Formal from around the back. It's going to be Karma there to trade the kill. And it's right now compLexity, they had the lead, but still very early on.
Yeah, good start. Who's the first man at the top to rotate out? That's a player from OpTic, I think. That's Krim. So Krim rotated pretty early here with about 15 or so seconds left. They're going to leave a bit of this time, just trying to contest as best they can. But the spawn should be in favor of OpTic. As you can see, they're starting to pop there around back lab and cage.
Formal needs to be careful. These compLexity players are pushing right through the middle of the map. Does put some shots into Miracle's Karma's here, maybe to trade the kill, but no, he gets overpowered. Now Krim, he's starting to get a little bit worried inside the hardpoint. You still got Formal. These are crucial kills for him to make, just trying to hold on to the spawns. And what shaped to be a great break from compLexity. Here comes Krim 6. He takes out Miracles. Nameless pushes out for the third as Karma takes his spot inside the hardpoint, goes for the beatdown, misses, as it's going to be a clean compLexity break. Switching over to Ricky, who's inside the hardpoint.
Yeah, they broke really well. It was a nice early rotation from OpTic. They got set up. They've taken control, but it's been pretty back and forth. You've done a good job contesting right now if you're compLexity. You're not allowing a huge chunk of time for OpTic Gaming, and they've still within 10 points or so right now. You see Ricky dropping there to Karma, and we should start having a rotation over the third hardpoint. This is one where we see teams' ability to lock down, those 40 to 60 points, have a really big setup. And just look at the minimap at the top left. It's looking very, very strong here for an early setup. As you want a Nameless to go big, he is here on the rotation.
Big kills from him. That's going to solidify early control of the Palace hardpoint to compLexity. Moving over to Miracles, who also is heating up a little bit, but he gets stopped short of his spree right there. Nameless spots the HC, takes care of that as he's looking to make some defense inside the hardpoint, but here comes Formal along with the rest of the OpTic Gaming members.
Parasite, the lone man, trying to deal with several players, getting pushed from every side. And Formal was a big part of this. He got 4 kills on his way to get the break here. Ricky eventually going to be able to connect on that player. And eventually, okay, so Formal did fall. I don't think he got close to any streaks. No one going off big in the kill feed right now. We're just taking their time trying to get forward, or trying to get closer to those weapons and abilities.
All right, and OpTic Gaming once again setting up the break. Karma leading the charge, takes down Parasite, turns around, and he destroys Nameless right there. But who's here from OpTic Gaming to follow up the push? It's going to be Scumpy, who falls to the hands of Ricky. Now only 10 seconds remaining. It's all about the next hardpoint. Of course, you see some players for compLexity already set up in Parasite along with Nameless. But here comes OpTic Gaming right through the front door. Krim 6 will get spotted out of position. It's going to be camo available here for Parasite. Might choose to pop it here shortly.
Well, what's scary, though, is OpTic is a team, typically it starts a little slow in hardpoints. compLexity is a team that starts pretty well in hardpoints and doesn't close very well. So right now, it's a bit scary with how close this has been. When OpTic starts to turn up, is compLexity going to be able to deal with that pressure? Doing a good job so far. Parasite was locking it down. Crimsys not trying to break in from the top. He saw one player in the corner there. Finally, with the pre-fire, able to take down Miracles. But you're racking up time if you're compLexity. You're doing a good job holding. You're halfway through, and now the first contest really coming in from OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, Scump pops his kinetic armor here, finishes the kill on the Parasite, looking for some more players, but he winds up getting cleaned up as Ricky falls off the map. Formal takes out Miracles, so the final seconds should be going in favor of OpTic Gaming, as it's going to be Karma leading the rotation. He's caught by Miracles, as once again, the rotation won by compLexity. They're going to have a very early position to work with here, but despite all the time they've invested into these early setups, really hasn't paid off for them just yet.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lead, but I agree with you. It's just they haven't done a good job holding the entire hardpoint. If you keep getting those first 20 to 30 seconds like they have been, that ends up adding up over the course of time. The only one really that they didn't rotate early to very well was the second cage hardpoint. Other than that, they've been doing an excellent job. You saw Krim's Purifier come out.
Doing nothing.
He got obliterated by Nameless, and now the break. Nameless on a 4 streak actually currently. Ricky, though, with the Purifier, he's going to be watching steps. He can be responsible for the side and also front, just really keeping any pressure off with this Purifier. Look how much he just scared players back. They've just been scared to push in.
Okay, there's fire here. I can no longer push this side of the map. And Nameless was on a spree here, earned himself the HCXD. Will also have his Scythe to work with later on in this game as he spots one player top AC. Makes quick work on the Krim 6 right there. But once again, it's OpTic Gaming contesting for the scrap time. It looks like it will go in their favor as now players from compLexity, they're starting to set up middle map once again. HCXD coming out from Scumpy spots. 2 players One on the bridge, moves in for the kill, and he takes out Ricky. There's one player waiting for him right outside the door, as we're going to switch over to Karma as he breaks into the hard point.
Tries to slide in, gets pinched from behind, 3 down, Scump the lone man. And this is another hard point. The early time's going to go to complexity. They've set up a little bit better here for the break. And that's what 3 hard points in a row. They've won the rotation battle. The question is, can they hold it for an extended length of time? It's just been the opening 20 or 30.
Krim.
They've done a good job of, and Krim with the 3-piece.
So what's going on with Karma right
still
now?
Getting points in.
9 and 22, definitely not the numbers you expect from him. Is it maybe that heat wave ban that's hurting him here?
Well, I mean, it could be. He loves Heat Wave. We don't see him use the Tempest too frequently. I'm trying to think if anything came out. Oh, you mentioned the Simtex. He likes to block danger close too. That could be affecting his playstyle a little bit in hardpoint.
All right, so maybe some bans targeting Karma, hurting him a little bit, but despite that, OpTic, it's nearly a tied game for them. In fact, they'll take the lead here if they soak up the rest of this time. But once again, a consistent theme throughout this entire hardpoint has been complexity with their early rotations. They always set up early. They always have initial positioning at the next hardpoint. But as I said, it really just hasn't paid off for them just yet.
They're playing a much more disciplined hardpoint game.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do to beat OpTic Gaming. The question is when it comes down to the stretch, when it's panic mode, those final couple hardpoints, can they do it? A 3-piece from Parasite is going to eliminate the pressure for the time being, but you're getting a pretty close spawn by Lab for OpTic. They're going to try to break this at least one more time. They're coming, they're flooding in the back. All the pressure coming in. Scump able to win the first gunfight.
Kinetic
Miracles
armor.
pops the kinetic. How many can he get? There's one. There's two. Grabs them both. Is there a third? Yeah, Ricky got into the action as well, but nice use of kinetic there by Miracles.
Yeah, great job. You saw him preemptively pop that kinetic armor, and there we go. Now it's starting to pay off for complexity. They've built themselves a little bit of a lead. Might be enough to invest into a rotation, and Miracle's continuing to get help from his teammates as Nameless takes down Scump. Now it's time for rotation. Look, you already got a complexity member coming around the back. It will be Parasite. He does die a little bit early, and this is the first time we've seen OpTic Gaming rotate early to a hardpoint, mainly because they got bullied out of cages.
Well, they haven't. Sometimes OpTic relies on just getting a break. They feel like they can outgun players. They can allow them to rotate early and just break in their first or second try. But you said the complexity need to try and keep up with the slang, and that's what's so difficult for teams. Every single player positive on the side of complexity right now.
All right, Formal decides to take out his scythe. He's finding a couple kills with it, and this is the perfect weapon to lock down this hard point, man. A lot of long lines of sight that these complexity players will be pushing towards as Formal cleans up 2 more, takes out Miracles and Nameless. And now this is starting to get dangerous because if Formal starts heating up and he earns some score streaks, it could snowball out of effect, out of reach from complexity, really.
Well, he's got an opportunity to do so. The problem is his scythe run out right as this player pushes is the question. He's laying prone, though, waiting for it. Now the break came in from top middle, and that's what happened.
That's the worst timing
It
ever.
ran out right when he had to engage there. Frustrating for sure, and you've still got a 20-point or so advantage right now for complexity. These next couple of rotations going to be massive.
Oh, he doesn't check his corner, and it's going to be Ricky waiting there to take out Karma. Complexity still with around a 30-point lead, the largest I've seen throughout this entire game, as Ricky falls inside the hardpoint to Scump. It's going to be Formal now pushing with Karma coming from bottom broken. He is able to spot one player out. Does take out Ricky. Can he find 2? He cannot. Back over to Formal as he drops. It seems like OpTic Gaming, they're starting to get a little bit desperate, pushing 1 by 1 now inside the hardpoint.
Yeah, it's not working out at all. Complexity, their lead continues to grow. The biggest we've seen here. They need to get a break.
They're closing it out.
Yeah, I mean, this is so tough. They've been rotating early so well that all they need right now is to get, I don't know, 10 points or so on the rotation here, and they should have this one. Just get those early points like they've been doing all game. This is what you see when you rotate early, when you play a little more disciplined, at some point, it's going to rack up. All right, well, Ricky here getting pressured. Miracles trying to rotate to mid-map and close this one out. They only need 1 point there, and there it is. Complexity stealing game 1. 71-point victory, upsetting OpTic Gaming, and that's only OpTic's like 2nd or 3rd loss, I think, in hardpoint. So that is a big, big win for Complexity, and that certainly extends the series and gives that game 5 that has been the hero kind of for Complexity now becomes a much, much more realistic option.
Oh yeah, for sure. And sometimes you'll just get this from Complexity where, you know, you'll see this top level of gameplay from them. And, you know, I've said this before and I'll stand by it about Complexity. They always play to the level of their opponents. And sure, going up against these top teams, that's a positive. But when they're going up against some lesser opponents, like you know, maybe like a CLG or someone, they stoop down to their level. And CLG, a weaker opponent than OpTic Gaming, a team that Complexity should be beating, they lose to them.
You kind of have to have like a cutthroat mentality not to allow that to happen, because you see that I mean, anything. Talk NBA, NFL, talk major sports, any other esport. That happens sometimes. You think like, oh, we've got an easier match tonight. You know, we can take it a little bit slower, and then you end up getting punished for it. They're certainly stepping up here against OpTic Gaming, though, early on, as they're going to take the first victory. And let's take a look. I think every player went positive. Well, Ricky goes even, but yeah, look at the time he had in the hard point. That's just a big performance complexity. He gets slang from everyone there.
And, you know, the one thing you could usually rely on for OpTic Gaming, I mean, you got 18 and 34 from Karma. Krim goes negative, Scump the only person positive. I mean, not the typical scoreline you expect from OpTic, but this gives compLexity a real shot to win the series.
It certainly does. A little bit uncharacteristic for sure from OpTic Gaming, but it makes it that much more interesting because if they take game one, like they almost always do, that's why they're putting teams in a hole time and time again. So we're going through the highlights right here. And you see how close it is through basically the first half of this game, back and forth, and that has been an issue for compLexity, again, closing out hard points. Usually it's OpTic that does that so well, but when they really start to erupt was over those final couple of hard points.
Well, yeah, and they closed it out there on the final glass one, and you could see finally the early rotations and all the time they invested early on in the game finally paid off. You know, they were able to win the rotation towards that final glass one, and OpTic Gaming, they weren't even able to get close to it for the most part.
Well, that just reminded me almost of OpTic at the beginning of Advanced Warfare. You know, they were playing in a lot of the online matches and leagues, and they got comfortable with the ability just to break whenever they wanted to. They let teams rotate a little bit early and weren't worried about it. They figured they could just bust through in the first or second break. When you play that type of game, if you don't get those breaks early, it really starts to add up because that was the first, 15 to 30 points almost on every hard point was going the way of compLexity.
Yeah.
And it was it looked like the gameplay looked so much harder for OpTic because they were constantly trying to break in over and over again.
I mean, look, if compLexity are able to get those defensive kills in some of the earlier hard points, that game is nearly a blowout for compLexity, right? You don't allow OpTic Gaming to get any of the scrap time. You just kill them in rotation to try to set up to break it. Could really throw OpTic Gaming off. And, you know, compLexity, they probably could have won it by a bigger scoreline had those kills gone in their favor. But now going into Search and Destroy, it is going to be on Stronghold here. Search and Destroy, maybe one of the weaker game modes from OpTic Gaming. They still look good from it from time to time, but this has been really compLexity's staple game mode to win games in.
Yeah, no, it really has been. This is where I think they need to come up big. If they get a 2-0 advantage of OpTic, you're feeling very good about compLexity's chances in this one, and I don't even know if I'm in the right lobby right now.
I'm not either. I'm waiting for someone to set it up.
Bring us with you. Then we'll be good to go. But yeah, S&D here. I mean, let's take a look through the maps in case this is the one lone match you're watching tonight. We have S&D on Stronghold. It'll be Uplink Fringe, CTF Evac, and S&D Hunted. When we talk about Stronghold as a map for Search and Destroy, do you give compLexity the edge in this one, or do you still feel pretty good about OpTic's chances?
I think I give compLexity a slight edge here.
Okay.
But when it comes to Uplink, I think OpTic are the stronger Uplink team, and then maybe compLexity might be able to close it out in the CTF coming up. Okay. But I think this gives, because they win the hard point, especially if they win the upcoming CTF or S&D, I think compLexity's in a pretty good spot maybe to close this out.
All right. This S&D is going to be so important.
I don't think there is even a lobby set up.
All right. Well, we'll take our time here. We'll chat a little bit about the match while we wait for this one to get going. But send us your thoughts, guys. You know, we've been getting questions all night long, you know, for us casters about the league and whatever you guys are curious about. It could be rosters, relegation, the finals coming up April 1st through 3rd. Just send in any questions. Use the hashtag CWLPS4, and we'll be taking a look at those through the course of the final match here. But yeah, I'm a bit shocked because I did not. If there was one game mode where I thought I could have picked with almost 100% certainty, it was OpTic Gaming winning the hard point. It's been their bread and butter over really. I mean, this team's been teaming together for almost a year. That's been their bread and butter for basically a year in Advanced Warfare and in Black Ops 3. But compLexity coming up huge, and really, you said it. You don't really outslay OpTic Gaming. They did,
and that was one of our big questions going into that match. If compLexity were able to do it, we had a good chance of them winning that first map. But now, I mean, what happens in the rest of the series? I think OpTic Gaming, they're definitely still in it. I mean, I said Search and Destroy is one of their weaker game modes, but they're still pretty darn good at it overall. It's going to be a tough match for compLexity, but like we've been saying, they're pretty darn good at Search and Destroy. They have been for many years now. I mean, you have Ricky. You look at some of the stats he's able to put up in Search and Destroy. It's just, you know,
Well,
like unrealistic almost.
Well, the last time I think I looked at kind of a breakdown of like player efficiency ratings for Search and Destroy, it was a top 10, I believe, from this particular matchup. Parasite, Ricky, and Formal were all in the top 10, and that's including first blood percentage, KD, bomb plant percentage, all that fun stuff. Those three really doing a good job, so that'll be a big part of this. You know, can Formal go off for OpTic? Do you get a big effort from Ricky and Parasite on the other side of things? As hopefully now we're loading back in, we can get this lobby going here for game 2. Thank you guys that are watching at home for being patient. We should be ready to go and wrap up the final match of the night. It's been interesting.
It started off
tonight.
as a very short day. You know, 2 very quick 3-0s. You saw CLG 3-0 Team Envious, then FaZe come back to 3-0 TSM, and then all of a sudden things start getting crazy, right? DT, they get the reverse sweep on Luminosity, and somehow they win at Game 5. That was definitely shaped up to be one of the best series of the night. And then we have probably our premier matchup, I think, compLexity versus OpTic Gaming coming into the night, not knowing any of the results ahead of time. It was looking very scary for compLexity. You know, their playoff lives were on the line, but fortunately for them, H2K lost their match today. So that means that compLexity, they now clinched their spot. But when it comes to seeding implications, of course, they want to win as many matches and maps as they possibly can to put them in the best spot possible to really not face OpTic Gaming in round 1. That's really what compLexity are playing for here. As we're just waiting to join the lobby and we get this match started.
Yeah, I think I finally got in. You might just have to try again. Just took me a couple. I was trying very hard.
I'm in.
I tried to join a few times. There we go. Okay, so we should be ready to go here. Maybe just waiting on a player or two here to start this one. But Stronghold S&D will be the game. Snipers. We've seen them be an impact in the past. Well, really, every Search and Destroy we've casted today, they've had a role, at least on Stronghold, they've had a role in some capacity here. So you're going to have maybe Formal and Karma. And the only one on the other side, actually, if I was Parasite, I think Parasite's a phenomenal sniper, but you might try to attack the sniper and not want to deal with it from OpTic Gaming.
I mean, you look at the guys from compLexity, the last time we really saw them snipe like a lot was maybe back in Ghosts. Even we saw Miracle sniping a little bit in Black Ops 2.
Parasite did it a bit, quite a bit in Advanced Warfare, and we've seen him do it on and off in this game. It's just against OpTic.
You can't hold Advanced Warfare over my head.
I will.
I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, you were finishing school. You know, that's important. Kids, go to school. That's simple life lessons with Maven. You're welcome.
You're such a good role model for the community, Maven.
I try my hardest. I think it's just one more guy we're waiting to join here, and we should be ready to go.
Yeah, Formal we're waiting on.
As far as S&D goes, you know, we talked about the fact that you have kind of a couple players that. Well, actually, you know what's funny? The last time I casted compLexity, I was talking about Ricky Parasite. The past couple I've done, it's been Miracles.
Yeah, Miracles has been performing very well as of late. I think even in the respawn game modes. I think he's really starting to step up his gameplay, and that really complements Nameless as well. Nameless has now been able to, move a bit more freely on the map because Miracles puts just so much pressure on the other team. He pushes out lanes constantly, and when you have a player that plays like Miracles does, finding success, it just makes everything just go easier.
It really, really does. And I did not think. When you looked at the matches tonight, you know, with the way compLexity's been playing, this is probably a match that you thought would be a 3-0 for OpTic, just because OpTic's been on fire. compLexity's been struggling, but if we get this compLexity team through the rest of this one, God, I mean, this is anyone's matchup. Really, it really comes down to the S&Ds now, potentially both of them, because I still think if compLexity takes this series, it's likely in a Game 5.
Look, there are days where compLexity just won't lose to any other team out there. And then there are days where us forecasters could team up and give them a run for their money.
It seems that way sometimes, right? Again, guys, apologize for the delays. Thank you for being patient. Just waiting on one player to get into the lobby here so we can start up game 2 of this best of 5. Yeah, it might help.
I'll be a good friend.
See if he's now able to join. If not, we might just have to restart here and try to get everybody in again, but hopefully not going to be more than a few minutes here, so we can wrap up the night here. This is really the end of week 10.
How crazy is that?
It's an 11-week season.
We have 1 week left,
and we have 1 week remaining in this, and God, I can't wait for next week. I'm almost like I want to get through today and get to next week, just because it's going to be a circus. It's going to be crazy. Just seeing. I hope it comes down to like the Wednesdays, like final 2 matches, like decide who's going to get in. Yeah, it probably will, because you've got 4 teams that are all around that same record, like a game separating them. It should be absolutely insane.
Yep. So it looks like Formal still yet to join the lobby. That's the only player we're waiting on. I'm not sure what's going on his end, but everybody else has been able to connect here as, once he joins in, we can get this one started.
All right. Now, Well, let's talk a little bit more than about, while we have some time to fill here. Can we take a look, actually, hopefully we have the standings updated. Can we take a look at the standings real quick, just to show maybe the new viewers coming into this match tonight how close everything is, kind of that 6 through 10 spot.
It's like a
almost.
14 block that everyone needs to look out for.
So, as of right now, LG and TSM still holding on since H2K had an 0-2 week. So they're, what, 1 game back. CLG technically still alive. So in order for CLG to get in, you would need 0-2 weeks from Luminosity and TSM. And where are they at map percentage-wise? They're actually okay, so they could overtake TSM technically.
Yeah, you're asking for a bit of a miracle if you're on CLG. You're pretty much relying on other teams to lose, and you need to win as well. So it's even if they win, like, it doesn't guarantee that the teams above them are going to lose. So it's a tough spot definitely for CLG. But the team I'm actually looking for is TK. We said it a bit earlier. Somehow, some way, they always find some opening to make it through, like the playoffs, to make it deep in the league, and now they have a chance to get out of that top 8. Which, what would that, for the first time, the entire stage, they'd be in that top 8 block.
Yeah, no, I could not agree more. This is wild. But guys, there appears to be some connection issues just getting everybody in here to start game 2. We're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. If we've got everyone together, we're ready to start before that, we'll come back. So stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
You're going to have Excite. He's gone 3-0. Oh! Shucks gets completely done. There's another one right there. Excite. Get me the vomit bag. That was sick. Will Mindfreak now consider the cold-blooded because Excite is coming on. Oh, that's 3. Excite, you're going in the top 5, buddy. That's 3 in a row.
Toho, however, has got another 2 kills. He's on 10. He's on 11 as he gets another onto Brand. He single-handedly opened up this flag and picked it up. Can he make the run? He's got Legend to babysit. This could very well be a run all off the back of Toho, who really has been an outstanding player. MVP already of the game and of the playday. And potentially he's one more battle. He's played to find. He's done it as well. Niall's gone. Toho is king. Has just slipped off the map, and in such a crucial round as well. He's gone. It's going to be an early, easy step in the right direction for Millennium, but just for a second before Nolson is fed. Tommy on a silver platter gets another one on the offense. Swanee was not expecting like that, an overextension. Tolson putting a toe out of line. Can he put his whole foot? No, not just yet, but he has the tag and the frag. Madcat gone, and now looks like he's just... Nolson!
Hitting this wall run, which might actually be the best chance he has in this round. So he's one on the site now, a one-on-one. He's got overdrive as well. Really pop overdrive to follow this one up. That's what you want to see. Chino trying to... You've got to pop overdrive. He's got to pop overdrive.
He's got to use it to go for the defuse after this. What?
The dart gets called in. No, you got to run back to the site. You got to go defuse. Go overdrive. Oh my God. Run to the site, Chino. Go.
What am I saying?
No. Oh my God. Is he going to get the defuse? Is he going to get the defuse? I can't do this.
No.
See where he spawns in on the map. There he is, back in his spawn. I think that's exactly why he did that. Ricky, though, earns himself the Cerberus, gets it. Ricky is literally doing everything. He's 20-5 on a 10 streak. He's going to call on the Cerberus. He's got the lead blocking done for his team. Oh, God, this game's getting out of hand quick.
Parasite's got the flag in his hand.
They're literally running away with this one.
Yeah, not much else they could do in this position, man. They're just...
Ricky is just
They've dug themselves their own grave.
Oh, my God! Ricky, someone make him stop.
Ricky's almost playing like 1v4 right now.
Honestly, right now, you've got Elevate playing checkers, and Ricky's playing chess. He's been playing chess for years. He's ready for this player here. 13 streak.
Gonna challenge.
Trying to make it happen. Oh, my Lord.
He's on a 13 kill spree.
And there's no sign of it stopping.
He only has 5 deaths.
Oh, man, this is just funny at this point. Ricky is literally commanding the whole map for his team. Wins another engagement, making a 14 streak. I don't even know what to say. He's going to call the
Ultra Missile.
Hellstorm.
He's going to earn it again.
And look at, he just slows it down. And look at how much map presence that gives his team.
Oh, he's going through the window.
Oh, my God. Ricky's on a 15 streak. And he's going to go for more. He knows Faceno's in the middle map. He's got one player to his right. Wins that gunfight.
Someone killing. Thank you.
16 kills. His streak was more kills than anyone else in the game, Revan.
I remember the first time I saw Pro, he sits down next to me and he starts playing, he's doing his thing. Wait a second, I know that guy, you know, like I see that guy on MLG, and I was just like, oh my God. You know, like I was like all embarrassed. I knew that's what I wanted to do. This was like a kid's dream at the time, you know, like something I never thought was even possible. That people were actually going across the country and playing against each other for like large sums of money. I was like, oh, this is like my heaven, you know, I gotta like get into this. I've been playing for OpTic since last, maybe October. It's the longest I've ever been on an organization or a team, and couldn't be happier. When I first joined OpTic Gaming, there was like a lot of pressure on myself. I gotta just do my best. Just a year before that, I was just watching these guys play. And then a year later, I was on the team that like everybody kind of wanted to be on. And the first event, I did really poorly. Compared to how I've been playing the past 2 years that I've been in Call of Duty, I played terrible. And no one had to tell me that. I know when I do bad. 6 months from now, I have to have said that I won Call of Duty championships. The past 2 years, I've gone, and I've underperformed. We've underplaced as a team. We were expected to win, and I got reality checked really quick. We thought no one could beat us, and then we got beat by 2 different teams. Our mentalities about champs this year is so much different than last year's, but we're just not gonna mess around. I've got to win Call of Duty champs. That's the biggest thing, that's the only thing.
All right, guys, we're back. I know you missed us desperately. I missed each and every one of you watching at home, but we've got everyone in the lobby. We should be ready to start Game 2 here momentarily. Thank you again for being so patient. Now, let's get back to discussions here. You said you thought this was a map that compLexity might have an advantage. Can you break that down? What's your line of thinking there? Is it just S&D in general or this map?
Yeah, search and destroy in general. It's always a game mode that this compLexity team has been pretty darn good at, and the fact that they've been able to steal not only just a respawn, but a hard point off of OpTic Gaming, I think puts compLexity in a decent shot at winning this entire series. Of course, they still need to perform it in some of the following maps. It's not a guaranteed win by any stretch of the imagination.
Ooh.
There we go. That's exactly what compLexity love to do in Search and Destroy, is protect those concussions.
Well, that's going to mix things up for sure. Do you think maybe a perk 3 ban makes sense here?
Well, Scumpy protects it.
Oh, right as I said that, I was looking at you, not even at the screen.
Yeah, I've been saying that for so many weeks that teams should be doing that.
I'm not surprised that comes through. You know, you want to be able to have tac mask dead silence, tac mask blast suppressor.
You want to run everything.
Whatever your options are. I thought maybe they'd try to get on that quickly. That apparently wasn't the thinking from compLexity as they went for rapid fire. They would have gone right after it.
Yeah, high caliber still in play. Specialist abilities as well, so still some things that might get targeted. It's going to be up to Ricky to round things out here. It's going to be the frag grenades. Okay, so once again, a slight target towards Karma. They know that everybody knows by now that Karma loves to run those danger close grenades, so probably have to do it Semtexes this time around. But obviously that concussion protect from compLexity going to change things up a little bit, change the pace.
That was a good protect, though. I mean, maybe they weren't going to target it, but I still like to protect from Scump just to make sure they have a little more variety and options at that perk 3 spot. But you're not going to really see, at least off the rip, I don't think anyone's really going to be running the standard kind of dead silence blast suppressor. You're going to have to want to include task mask, I think, at least
it depends
early.
on the kind of push you're making. If you're doing, you know, some sort of all-out play, you don't really need dead silence. You don't really need blast suppressor. If you're putting, you know, your round in on that push.
Yeah, because it becomes more crucial when you get into a 1v1, 2v2. Those situations become a little bit more close quarters as you're trying to clutch. Now, we're getting ready to hop into this game. Players got to create their classes first here and get set up. Now, maybe you didn't see it earlier, but we put together some 101 videos for you guys watching on Live Event Viewer. You guys might be a little bit new to Call of Duty esports. Let's take a look here at S&D 101.
Search and Destroy is an elimination-based game in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. In this round-based mode, the teams are divided into either attacking or defending. The attacking team's objective is to either eliminate all of the opposing players or to detonate one of 2 bomb sites. The defending team's goal is to either eliminate all the opposing players while defusing any armed bombs, or stay alive within the entire 1 minute 30-second time limit. After each round, the teams switch roles and their objective changes. Players only get 1 life per round in this best of 11 game mode with no respawns. First team to successfully complete their task wins the round and scores a point. Score streaks carry over and build between rounds. The first to 6 round wins takes the game. This strategic multiplayer mode forces you to make each kill count and to choose all of your movements wisely.
And we're back. Yeah, just kind of breaking it down for those of you that are maybe a little bit new. You're a TSM fan. You know, you're a fan of some of these new organizations that have come in. You're trying to learn Call of Duty esports. Search and Destroy, I think, certainly the mode that mixes things up the most compared to our other respawn modes. So just a little bit of a tutorial kind of opening video for you guys that might not be as familiar. But now just waiting. The guys setting up their score streaks. We should be ready to rock here in the next 20 to 30 seconds. If you are just tuning in for some reason, hopefully you've been watching the entire time. But if you
had some great matches.
If you missed the game 1, it is currently a 1-0 advantage right now for compLexity, which I think I've said never. I don't think I casted. The only one I can think of was DT. No, they got 3-0'd once. Was it who 3-0'd them? How many hard points did they lost? Only like 2. 1, 2, something like that?
A couple. Here and there.
Not many. It's very rare that you say OpTic's trailing 0-1 in a series. But now
Hardpoint has been one of their more consistent game modes that they've been performing in, but
certainly has. That was a sloppy game 1 in my opinion from OpTic. Not really doing a good job rotating early at all.
They were in it for the most part. It was pretty even despite being late on rotations.
Well, they're good enough that they can win when they don't play I guess the most structured, but fell short. But here we go. Game 2, round 1. Search and Destroy on Stronghold. Let's check through. I'll take a look at the side of compLexity. Parasite is going to be sniping.
And Formal both have a sniper.
That doesn't shock me. That's why I thought maybe you'd see compLexity go after them a little bit, because it's going to be Parasite trying to deal with both of these players peeking. Parasite behind the tree line, looking over to half wall, just so you get an idea of what point of view he's looking at. Formal likes to hit this shot kind of over bunker, and that was Parasite catching Parasite right as he went over the top.
I hate when teams use multiple sniper rifles because I never know who to watch.
So difficult, right? Another entry kill coming in as Crim6 was able to pick up one. Going to be traded out though. 2v2 here. Now take a you hit triangle for me real quick. I just want to see what we have. So we have just Blast Suppressor, no Dead Silence here. Nice long range shots there coming in from Formal, but now it's a 1 versus 1, and there it is. Karma closing it out. He opened things up with the sniper onto Parasite. Nice job clutching up in the 1-on-1.
Yeah, close enough to trade out the kill here. I think Ricky may have gotten a glimpse of Karma as he went down towards the Lambo, decided to challenge here, but with Overkill, he's got the VMP in his back pocket. Great stuff from Karma to open up round number 1 as OpTic Gaming take it, plus that was an offensive round win.
Yeah, it was, and I just feel like having Overkill, having all the options, thermal, everything for the sniper, I mean, it has to give a little bit of an advantage to OpTic, right?
Maybe. It's certainly going to help them out because I don't really think anybody on compLexity are like that well versed with the sniper rifle in this game, and they don't use it all too often. But what they do have available to them is their utility. They have 5 stun grenades going into this round. That's certainly something that could slow down this entire OpTic Gaming squad. 5.
Yeah. Well, here, I'm going to check through the OpTic players. You have no tac mask on Formal, tac on Crim, tac on Scump, and none on Karma. So depending on how the engagements break down, you have a couple liabilities across your 4-man roster right now with regards to tacticals.
And what you see Formal doing is he's just trying to get a line of sight in your middle map. They'll spot 2 players out, but this is a very tough shot to hit. You're just mainly trying to put pressure onto that B bomb site, but now action going down over near Mansion, near this A bomb site. Scump finds first blood onto Parasite. Miracles trades onto Karma, as now Scump has Ricky trapped, finishes the kill, but he's getting flanked out as Miracles is there for the trade. Things starting to get a little bit interesting as it's down to a 2-1-2, and just like that, OpTic Gaming close out round number 2. Maybe that hardpoint lost a little bit of a fire under them.
It may have, and I think the ban protect certainly favored them as well. At least the concussions might end up being a player, but to this point they haven't made much of an impact. Crim6 and Formal both going to be picking up kills there pretty much the same instant to shut down round 2. 2-0 lead. OpTic Gaming now. Let's take a look. I'm going to check on my side. Karma still sniping. Formal still sniping.
All right, listen,
Crim6 sniping.
Who do I watch? Crim6 is sniping too. They got 3 snipers out. This is something that FaZe usually does.
Have fun. 3 snipers on offense on Stronghold. I'm going to try to see who is at the biggest risk of being peaked right now. Ricky's playing pretty safe in the back. Everyone else set up in Mansion.
Scum going right for the bomb plant here. And because they have so many sniper rifles, they can play a lot of off angles. And compLexity, they recognize that. Parasite aggressive on the bomb site. He takes down Scum. First blood in the round, and now the bomb is dropped.
Yeah, 2 is 2. I guess I can see. 3 seems like a lot for this map, right? If you don't get an opening kill, it can punish you. But I mean, the good thing is you have overkill, so you have a little utility there in your back pocket. They saw one cross to the right side of the B bomb site. Is checking back. That's Parasite. He's been trying to bait out some sniper shots.
But all the sniper shots you really hit on this map are like mid thrust. You know, you're coming down from boosting upwards. I mean, some tough shots to hit. Krim peeking top table. The bomb still dropped over near the site. Formal falls. There goes Karma, and now it's all up to Crim6. He dies shortly after as compLexity get their first round.
The 3 sniper strat did not work here, as it got shut down. I mean, if you're not going to get an opening kill, those snipers aren't going to be too effective as you try to break into Mansion here.
Yeah.
Krim saw one. I was watching him on satellite side. One peeked bedroom for a second. He almost got that first blood, which would have changed this round entirely. But great stuff there by compLexity. They knew there were a lot of snipers on the map. They dealt with it very well. Parasite getting that first kill on Scump as he was planting was huge.
Yeah, even though Overkill makes it through here, it's still nobody from compLexity deciding to pull out a sniper. I mean, sure, this map isn't too big on the sniper rifles. Tough to make them truly effective.
Parasite was on defense, but yeah, I don't think we've really seen him do much on offense.
All right, so he spots one out over near the B-bomb site. Scump with first blood as he shuts down Nameless. So early man advantage to OpTic Gaming. Parasite trying to push in and trade the kill. He gets some help. Oh no, a team kill from Parasite. He dies. And now Karma is going to push through, takes down Parasite. Formal shuts down Ricky.
Miracles was so weak after his gunfight that was just unintentional. He might have grazed him with one bullet to the arm really to take him out at that point. He was so red.
That was rough from compLexity. Yeah, you never want a team kill, especially in a game mode like Search and Destroy, but that gives OpTic Gaming some breathing room here in Search and Destroy. They build a 2-round lead, as now they'll find themselves going into offense. Curious to see if they stick with that many snipers. It looks like everybody put one away.
Everyone did, so that's a big change. You know, I like that. The ability to be versatile in S&D and mix things up. I think they have a player hitting bunker pretty quickly, too. That was formal, but the first player in, Crim6, he's going to get first blooded, not able to make it
Scump dies, too.
Scump also
now here
Nameless.
comes Karma. Karma does get the trade.
Now, for players that might be a little new or viewers watching this map, why is it difficult for offense to try and break into this Mansion? What makes it so difficult?
The defensive players are just set up so close together, right? So you pretty much send like 3 players to hold down Mansion and 1 player just to hold down like that back statue and get a line of sight on. Maybe somebody decides to flank through bunker just to be aware of that side of the map. But it's because the defensive guys are just so close to help each other out. Karma spots both players here. This is very doable. He knows there's one right around the corner. He's going to challenge, put some initial shots down, but he's going to back up. He's taking fire from behind. The bomb is still dropped. He swaps out to his M8. He's going to find one player here around the corner. Spots him near middle map. Going to put down some shots, but he's backing up, getting closer and closer to Heatwave. Spots him here now over near the half wall. What is going on? He finishes the kill on the Miracles. 1-on-1 now. Him versus Parasite, and he's got Heatwave.
Oh my God, that was like one of the longest, oddest gunfights, because I feel like that gunfight kind of carried him the whole way across the map almost.
Yeah, right?
Barely connecting with bullets, but just enough there to get the melee in. Now does he try and get this bomb and try to get the plant? What options does he even have?
Oh, this might work out.
It could work out perfectly. He didn't see him in the corner. He didn't see him in the corner. The Heatwave would have been perfect there. Would have been such an easy closing kill. But I don't think he saw him at all.
Yeah, Parasite hugging the bomb, and just like that, he turns the corner a little too quickly.
It was tough to tell. Was he crossing the bomb right as he got that view, sort of?
Yeah. Was barely out of his field of view, I think. But compLexity, they answer back. They bring it back to within 1 round. Flipping through these OpTic Gaming members. compLexity guys. Okay, so you got no special abilities. You got Heatwave is the only thing available in the entire game.
You have a sniper for Parasite this time, so he want to bring it out on offense.
Spots one.
Ooh. Narrowly missing a player there at the back tree line. That was that's Formal. Formal's going to be sniping as well. I think he'll be the only one on OpTic right now. And oh, the cold-blooded.
Did you hit that?
Yeah, Parasite
you
nailed
that?
it. Yep, and Parasite was rocking cold-blooded. Formal is as well, but that was a dirty shot there as he connected with him on half wall. Re-peeking was Parasite, and Formal going to be winning that duel.
All right, first blood going to OpTic Gaming. Now compLexity. I think Miracles just got spotted out from that player behind the A bomb site. Might decide to hit the wall run. A little bit risky, but he will have Nameless looking over him here. Shots being fired from the sniper. Ricky now joining as they're going to hit top mansion.
Yeah, he was. It was Miracles kind of teasing Formal at half wall, but now they've decided to make the push in. They're going to come soaring. Who's going to be able to hold it off? Crim6 is going to pick up one. Formal is going to finally tag at Miracles, and now Nameless finds himself in a 1 versus 3. Bomb down at front B steps. Shots coming from the back, shots coming from the front, shots coming from the air, as Nameless not able to survive the onslaught of OpTic Gaming.
Yeah. And once again, OpTic back up to a 2-round lead here. We're going to see Scumpy finishing out the round. These were the shots coming from the air.
Yeah, there's one player above him too, I think. Yeah, they just came, yep, there was. Well, they just came flying in there. Nameless trying to react, but just too much pressure from OpTic Gaming. They've now got a 4-2 advantage in this one, then they are back to the offensive side of things. Now let's check through
just one.
Our classes. Just going to be Formal. I'm guessing just Parasite. No, Parasite has switched up, so he's rocking an M8. And no one else. Yeah, no snipers here. The one player playing in the back, the lone man, will be Ricky, trying to deal with any overextension. But it looks like they're going to try and push in through bedroom and wall run here. Crim6 is going to hit the wall run.
Yes, comes right behind him.
He got tagged up pretty immediately. They know there's a player down by Lambo, and I think Ricky has rotated over to back statue.
Yeah, Parasite with first blood. He shuts down Crim6. Scump falls directly after that. So rough start for OpTic here in this round. A great one for compLexity, though. Formal swapping back out to the sniper. Gonna just pre-aim these tables. Oh, and as soon as he switches his weapon, he challenges with the VMP, shuts down Miracles.
Okay.
Now has active camo, and Karma has heat wave. This is certainly doable.
It's just whether they want to save those for a more favorable round, but they certainly could win this. The one player flanking back to half wall, I just noticed that was Ricky. So Ricky actually picked up Scump there at Statue, wrapped all the way through bunker, came in behind. Excellent stuff from him. Karma getting tagged up. Parasite taking Ricky's role in the back, and he is going to get the final kill here.
All right, so bringing it back to within 1 round. Of course, compLexity, and they close it out here on defense. There's Parasite closing the final kill there onto Karma, but now a lot of players are going to have some specialists to work with. Karma's had its heat wave for a while now. You just saw Formal earn his camo. Anything else for OpTic Gaming? Pretty far away from that kinetic armor, as well as the vision pulse. You got camo for Parasite, heat wave for Nameless, almost kinetic for Miracles, and still pretty far from the vision pulse on Ricky.
Let's see how they opt to play this. One player getting
camo
aggressive.
right up middle.
Yep, camo. You saw it. Not able to deal with it. Formal getting an easy first blood there and keeping his life. So look how scared they got. compLexity just like all stood there.
That's not
terrified
something
for a
you
while.
expect on more of a defensive favored map like Stronghold.
No, you definitely don't. But they kind of want to guarantee the round here with the 4-3 advantage.
Parasite
Can they
might
hang
use
on?
his here.
Yeah, let's watch Parasite. Does he try to break? He saw one there at steps. Not an angle you want to try and challenge there. Such a difficult gunfight. He could. Oh God, did he see the player up top here?
I think he's on the
He's
other
outside.
side. Of the
He is
site,
outside. Yeah.
But compLexity, they're really good at jiggle peeking. Like their movement here is just really good. You see, they have a good feel on what they could realistically peek here, as they push forward and forward up on the map. They have some position to work with. Parasite, he just watches his teammate Miracles dies, goes for the challenge, and wow. Crim6 picks up 2. Here comes Ricky trying to trade it, but whiffs with the L-car, forced to back down, and runs into somebody else from OpTic Gaming. As they're looking pretty good here in Search and Destroy. They're 1 away from closing this one out.
Yeah, 1 away, and 1 away from making this series very scary for compLexity again. They got a 2-0 advantage here. You're feeling good.
Yeah.
Not so much the case here if you drop game 2.
I think the respawns are really the modes that you struggle the most taking against OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, but OpTic, I mean, they're not the best CTF team. I know Scump's up there in KD, but with regards to what
sometimes
little
CTF just
weaknesses
plays
they
like
have,
that, yeah.
That's true. You give compLexity a chance in that one. That would be the map if they drop this that I think would let them push it to a game 5. I just don't. I think taking uplink off of OpTic is terrifying.
So that's a great EMP from Karma for many reasons. One, it tags up a player, but they're also trying to shut down the camo play from Parasite. You know, you get EMP'd, your specialist ability goes away like that.
Well, the difference here in this one is basically Karma kind of Formal challenge middle with his camo, got a kill and got away, kept his life.
Parasite died.
Parasite gets traded, which you still got that kill. You got a lot of information, but not nearly as beneficial as what you saw from the other side of things. It's going to be down to a 2v2 now. Scump and Krim going up against Miracles and Ricky. How do you want to attack this?
Just go together while you catch Miracles out of position. Now, this round is just so much better for OpTic Gaming as you leave Ricky down in a 1v2. No vision pulse for him. Krim's about to have his. Maybe he decides to pop it here after they get the bomb planted.
That would make sense. And Ricky's been playing kind of back
Look at the radius from vision pulse. He's like, oh, I see you, bro.
And that slows Ricky down so much. I'm going to check out Ricky. He has rotated back to Statue. Can he win the first gunfight? Tags up one. Both players are soaring here. He's taken so many bullets, somehow still staying alive. But Scumpy gets aggressive, able to get the final kill, and OpTic is taking game 2, 6-3. So, I guess the game type you would probably give compLexity most of a chance here. They end up dropping, but thankfully for them, they got the upset in game 1 hardpoint. And now we've got ourselves a series.
All right, so things kind of even out from here as we move into Fringe Uplink, which will be the next map in the series. I think OpTic Gaming, they're one of the best Uplink teams out there. But compLexity, I mean, they've stolen some respawns off OpTic Gaming already. They've beaten them in the past. I wouldn't kind of put it past them to win it here against OpTic.
Very, very true. Now, the maps, just in case you are just tuning in, we're going to be going to Uplink Fringe, CTF Evac, and S&D Hunted for the final 3 maps of this best of 5. Uplink tough to beat OpTic Gaming.
Yeah.
Evac tough to beat. Well, CTF, I think you have the best chance here for this one.
I think it's so tough just to predict who's going to win each map without knowing what the ban and protects are going to be, because for all we know, compLexity could just do something really crazy like ban out a flak jacket, ban out tac mask, and protect some of the tacticals and just really change the pace of the game. So it's just so tough to call. You don't really know what you're going to get from compLexity in these upcoming game modes. Sometimes they're inconsistent, sometimes they're the best in the game.
And that's a really balanced effort there from Karma, Scump, Crim, and Formal. Nobody really standing out too much, just everyone getting involved, every player positive. It's kind of what we saw on the other side of things in the hardpoint. You saw every single player positive in the KD department for compLexity as they stole that game 1. We'll take a look at some highlights before we get ready for our next matchup.
I can't wait to see Formal snipe that I missed.
Yeah, we'll see if we got it from my screen. It was a nice. I'm always more impressed by snipes with thermal when they have cold-blooded because it's just difficult to spot them out, right?
This is one of the more awkward engagements that we've seen.
Oh, there it was. That was the one. So, like, right as he hit the tree there, I just feel like it's so tough to see that player with cold-blooded, but nice shot there.
Listen, for some of these young guys with good set of eyes on them, they can see everything.
He hurt me.
You need glasses, Maven.
I've got great eyes, man. It's the only thing I've been going for me, you know. The world took my hair, it took my dignity, but I've still got eyesight, thankfully. But let's see. Do we need to switch sides or lobbies? No, we should be good to go for Fringe. As soon as these guys get started, we'll hop right into the ban and protect. And I just Fringe in this game mode in particular, I just feel like it's such a tough one for compLexity.
I think it's tough mainly for the fact that I think OpTic have the stronger assault rifles going into this one. But once again, we highlighted Nameless. You're looking for him to go big here again on Fringe.
Yeah. Oh, he has to have a really, really big performance, I think, for this one to be a game, without question. But let's see. Looks like they are starting now. So we should be ready to go in the ban protect here pretty quickly. 5 seconds on the clock. What can you...
Ban stock.
Okay.
I knew what you were going to ask.
Attack the subs, attack the AR players as well?
I think that's something that certainly helped them in the hardpoint. And I think they go after it again here for the uplink. I think OpTic Gaming... Oh, they're going to protect Camo. So I was about to say, I think OpTic Gaming will go ahead and ban Camo. Now, protecting a specialist is always interesting because...
We see it once every 40 games.
I mean, that. And also, like, is it worth protecting it? Because... Sure, you could use it, but the other team also has access to it.
Well, you got to think they're confident they can make the bigger plays with it. Why else would you do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And OpTic, a team that usually does ban it, so they haven't played with it much. I mean, not that it's incredibly difficult to pop camouflage and get a shot off.
Now.
Do you think they're going to attack stock?
I think that's the exact conversation they're having right now. Is do we protect it? Are you afraid of that ban? No, he goes after rapid fire.
Does Parasite go after stock is the question.
Still a chance.
You still have overclock. I mean, if you
still have overdrive.
If you protected camo, you might be okay with overclock. Try to get those abilities faster. Maybe that's one way you think you can beat OpTic. Take advantage of the abilities maybe a little bit better.
Parasite bans overclock. I think Scump goes after overdrive. Yeah,
makes sense. Okay, so we may only have one weapon then, because usually you have 2 or 3 abilities banned going into uplink. A lot of times it's camo, overdrive,
kinetic, camo, heat wave.
I can see that for sure. I think that works out a little bit better than having 2 weapons. I mean, we've seen as many as 3 weapons.
Yeah.
In uplink at times.
Well, that's when like everything gets banned out.
Scump should be kinetics. Yeah, that makes sense. 1 scythe on the side of OpTic.
compLexity go for 2.
Okay, so what are they going to be missing?
I think Heat Wave because you protect camo.
Oh, yeah, good point. That would have been hilarious. They protected camo, they're like, oh, guys, we were just kidding.
We didn't actually want to use it.
No, we just want to make sure you guys picked it. We're taking a second weapon. All right, well, that's rounding out the Specialist Draft and the Ban and Protect here for Game 3. Tweet us your thoughts. Who's going to take this one? Use the hashtag CWLPS4. I'd love to know who you think is going to take Game 3 here between OpTic and compLexity. And thanks, guys, for sending in your questions all day long. It's been a lot of fun kind of hearing what you guys would like to know. As usually, we're sending out the question about players, matchups, rosters, what your guys' thoughts are. I'm trying to think, if this gets to a Game 5, if we get to Hunted. Oh. Wait, so I think I just heard there was a question coming in. What was it? Who is the best sniper? Who asked this? Dean Nasiri 01. Who is the best Black Ops 3 sniper?
I'm trying to think.
I'm going to go Aqua.
I was about to say that.
I'm going Aqua.
I think you throw Colchan up there. I think you throw Formal up there. I think you throw Attach up there.
Yeah, I think
that's pretty tough.
I think I was asked my top 3. Matt asked me one time, and this was weeks and weeks ago, but I said Attach, Aqua, Colchan. The circus shots that people hit.
This was the first ever top list that Maven didn't list Formal in, by the way.
Sorry, he doesn't pull out the sniper all the time. He puts it away sometimes. I feel like every S&D I've ever watched, Aqua is sniping, whether it's a PO6, a Locust.
I'm gonna let Formal know that you didn't pick him. And that's going to end your friendship.
Production team, if there's a way to delete this conversation from the VOD, just to make sure this doesn't get into, no one can see this later.
But I think I completely agree with you on that sniper list, as well as, who from compLexity, aside from Nameless, maybe Parasite brings out the AR. I mean, for sure, Ricky's going to be running one. I think you keep Miracles with the SMG and have
Did the
Parasite.
Shiva sneak through?
No, Shiva got banned.
Okay, I was thinking for a second with the Protect and some stuff getting mixed up, it might have snuck through. So if Shiva's off the board, I'm trying to think of what you can do to try and
I think the Banner Protects
ARs.
really favor OpTic Gaming. The only thing that compLexity did differently is they protected camo.
Which I like you said, it kind of helps both teams, right?
Yeah, both teams have that available to them. They both picked it. And it's not really because you protect camo, what does that accomplish for your team?
Well, the main thing too is, I mean, Karma usually going to be, Karma lead blocker with drone carrier being Scump. Krim will be making some big plays, but we don't see the drone in his hand as frequently. So maybe camo doesn't help them as much.
In whose hands?
Krim.
I see it more often when he has camo available.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably do it. But usually, it's kind of Karma being Scump's lead blocker. They try to get forward, try and get through points. We'll see if that has any effect on it. I doubt that it really will.
And that's 3 down for compLexity right away. Karma immediately putting a touch on the drone. Ricky trying to find this player over near tracks, but Karma's already ready to put a dunk in, but he gets stopped just short. It's going to be Krim now trying to maintain this position over near the train tracks. He finds one up top, shuts down Ricky, but possession of the drone now in favor of compLexity.
All right, well, let's see if Krim can hold this off. He catches a Semtex there, not going to be able to deal with it.
3 down again.
Yep, 3 down again. Last time it led to a stopped dunk. Now let's see if they can turn this into a one-point play. Somebody's got to get set up forward. That's Scump, I think, leading the way. He's able to pick up one, pick up two.
Scump is now the Karma guard.
And now there is a dunk. Yeah, he will be the Karma guard here as he's able to flush one through. Formal going to be grabbing it. They're trying to relay this. As you see the player spawning in auto, trying to wrap back and try to apply pressure. But Scump is just having his way with compLexity right now.
Oh, boy.
And Formal, you can't do that
that's
to people.
4 down for compLexity.
Toss it into window, baby. I'm ready for the toss. Here comes the pass. Ooh, like it. Westbrook with the rock, able to pass it through, and it's 6-0. We're like a minute into the game.
Yeah, this is...
Do you understand now why I was a little bit scared about this map?
I was as well, man. I was favoring OpTic going into this one, but look, compLexity, they can hang up there with OpTic Gaming. I'm sure of it. Just a rough start for them, and OpTic, they're definitely the best team as Scump. Wow, he's 10-2, but they're the best team. Whenever you make a small mistake, they just are able to blow it out of the water from there. So you really got to limit the mistakes you make against this team.
Well, if you can get some points on the board here, that would be huge. Unfortunately,
that's a good start.
Nice shot. Okay, so you got a point on the board. You're able to pick up a kill as well if you're Parasite, so if he can pick up a few more, the rally might be able to come forward. I think a couple players tried to overextend and rotate back to drone spawn, not back to the base. So Parasite's still wreaking havoc a bit, but it's not going to matter that much as the gunfight's being won here around wood. They're just going to toss it forward, try to slow down the aggression, and you still, Parasite, Parasite spent so much time. Half the game so far he's spent inside
He's
of
on a 5 spree
the
right
OpTic
now.
space.
He's on a tear right now. Somebody stop this man. It's 6 kill spree. He's matching the slaying of Scumpy right now, which is allowing compLexity to move this jump forward. They get another 1-point toss, but still you're down by 4 points.
And
that's a huge lightning.
That is, because he was 25 off the Hellstorm, right? So he would have been fully streaked out basically with another killer. So that is a big one. It stops the bleeding as far as the pressure coming forward. It also stops streaks for Parasite.
Yeah, great movement from Scumpy. He checks all of his corners, but despite that, Ricky's there to take him out. He's now switching over to Karma. He's got his heat wave available. It's going to be a quick drone touch from the boys over on compLexity, but immediately Nameless gets killed right after. Miracle's trying to get touched over near middle map. He does find Crim, now starting to move forward as he's looking to be a thorn in the side of OpTic.
And you saw HC banned in a couple of these uplinks today. I want to say like every other one had HC banned. It makes it in here. We'll see if that's going to have any kind of impact. But now, despite the 6-0 start from OpTic, you've seen some pretty good control from compLexity. They've only got 2 points on the board, but you haven't had to deal with really
crazy.
any
Scumpy's
pressure from
doing
OpTic.
this with an SMG on Fringe.
He's a freak. An absolute freak of nature. Well, 2 players by Globe here. Can he win any of these? He wins 1, somehow still alive. Great job using cover there, and he wants to push forward. Has 2 to deal with, though, and there's another dunk.
Camo.
He actually, I'm pretty sure Scump made like 3 players kind of deal with him over by Globe.
I mean, look, whenever you see Scumpy on the map, you're just like, okay, Scump's here. We need to kill him. And once again, the perfect spawn trap from OpTic Gaming. This is looking scary.
You take it. You go ahead and take it. I'm finding this player.
Well, because he was getting streaks from that.
Yep. Yes, he did. And they're going to keep coming forward. Nameless is the only one alive.
He's in a good position. Fortunate spawns coming in from compLexity, but Scump might be able to get around the corner. No, he cannot. It's going to be Karma. Pops his heat wave. He dies after that.
That didn't connect, and he had just gotten 2. That would have been the 3-piece there to probably guarantee a dunk as well. I believe that player just out of the range of the kinetic, or that kind of the edge of the globe there, actually shut it off. And I don't know. I don't know what Parasite was looking at. Did he run right under the feet of Crim there?
Yeah. I think that's exactly what happened, but, just 2 situations now in this first half where OpTic Gaming have just had a flawless spawn trap going on compLexity. The drone gets tossed forward. It's in the hands of Karma. Gets the beat down on the stairs, and he goes up for the dunk. He does get stopped just short of that, but you still have OpTic Gaming forwardly pushed up.
What's funny is they've had 5 dunks, and I think they've been shut down at the rim like 2 or 3 times too. So you've actually had a couple pretty good defensive stands from compLexity, but
Parasite passes the drone to Formal. He's like, oh, what?
Yeah,
I
don't want this thing. Get it out of my hands. 7 seconds left. Can they get 1 more point on the board? Wrapping around the back is Crim. He wants the dunk. He goes for it in the final second. Gives him his camo as well. I thought he was going to get his camo to pop to go through, but didn't even need it. 12-2 first half. And whoa, that hurts if you're compLexity.
I mean, look, once you get in that spawn trap, it's just so tough to break out. I mean,
yeah, it is. But even if they drop this game massively, it's
you still have CTF to fall back on.
It's 1 map loss. Doesn't matter. The score doesn't matter. It's 1 map loss, and you have to bounce back in CTF. But they still got a chance. They're trailing by 10. If they can get the trap on, you saw how quickly it can happen. It really came down to really 2 or 3 moments of control that OpTic just hammered it home.
And I love what OpTic Gaming are doing here, just choosing to exploit over near the back alley. Crim, he tossed the drone towards that side of the map because he knew he had 2 teammates pushing over there. He finds 1 more with the RK5. Scump now with the drone in his hands. He's in a position to get at least a 1-point toss-off. But, of course, OpTic Gaming, they're going to go in for the dunk, and he's going to get it. Moving right over that defender. He picks up the kill after as he takes out Ricky.
Ricky getting toyed with a little bit there. Scump just taking his time, finally getting the dunk home. 14-2 advantage now, and that's what they had a dunk in the opening 60 seconds or so. Well, they actually had, 2 dunk? No, 3. Was it 6-0 in 90 seconds, basically? All right, so a little bit of a slower start. Sorry, the dunk might have come through as quickly, or a little bit quicker, though.
And this is going to be another scoring opportunity for OpTic. Should result in yet another dunk, as this is shaping up quickly to be a blowout game.
I take back what I just said.
What'd you say?
I thought maybe this half, the opening would be a little less brutal, but it's shaping up to almost be identical, actually.
I mean, both sides have that opportunity to get a nasty spawn trap down. Oh, Crim did spot Nameless over there.
Let's see. Karma was waiting at wood, I think, for his players to get spawned. They know 1 player had overextended from compLexity. Nice job going over the top. He's able to sink that one through. Now their base has been cleared out, and they want to continue to apply a bit of pressure here. You see some streaks for Formal. He can save those for another day. Not at all needed right now.
Karma picks up the drone and goes for this 1-point toss again right over Barn. He misses it this time. Looks like it might still be on the map, so it could work out in the end as Karma earns his heat wave through that. 3 go down for compLexity. Parasite, the last one alive. He's forced to use Camel here in a defensive manner, but he's still taking fire from all different angles. Tosses out the EMP, knows he's getting pressured, challenges, can't finish the kill just yet. And he's slowly running out, goes for the reload, and he gets taken down by Scumpy.
There's just been one player, you know, frequently pushed up into the basic compLexity. It's just wreaking havoc. I mean, it's been Scump, I think, most of the time, just in a really dominant, aggressive position, able to impact those spawns and also pick up kills and really just be irritating. You have to focus on him. You have to worry about rotating back to the base. There has been no second of this game that has been fun for compLexity.
Oh, since the very beginning of the game, like that first minute, they're just like, well, okay, this is how it's going to go.
Well, what would you, I mean, I was going to ask you for a recommendation, but with down 15 with 2.5 to go, it's become
a recommendation?
Yeah, what can compLexity do to turn this around a bit? Maybe, well, you know, even if you have
Start
a good...
up A.
You're horrible. 1 point toss coming over the top for Krim.
Pops camo. Get some help after there. It's looking like OpTic Gaming, they're just not taking their foot off the gas pedal. Karma missing that drone. Settles for the easy 1 point toss from there. As 3 go down for compLexity, this has been a blowout since the first couple of seconds.
Yeah, they're spawning back alley. And who's that down there to deal with the spawn trap? I mean, oh,
it
was taken
Scump.
out. So Scump was in a pretty good position to deal with it. Another dunk going through, 20-2. I mean, this is one of the bigger thrashings we've seen on this map. I know we have a couple. I just remember Rise Nation over question mark at the time was
this
a
could be
big
just
blowout.
as bad.
Yeah, it's looking that way with a minute 40 left. Just no answer for compLexity right now to try and deal with OpTic.
I mean, really, I think the guy who's done the most damage has been Scumpy. The fact that he has 31 kills, only 14 deaths with the SMG, you can only imagine the type of havoc that he's been wreaking this entire. Oh.
Well, we saw Attach do this same thing.
Oh wow, compLexity, they touched the drone.
Here we go. Is
They're moving it
is that the
forward.
first touch really? And from the drone spawn?
Oh, they got some points.
They got a dunk through. That's the first time we've really seen it with them at all on the second side. But Attach is another player you really see on this map and Uplink make a huge impact as far as the slang and really just being aggressive nuisance around the opposition's base. 60 seconds left, and well, do you want to start talking CTF?
I mean, we could, but definitely a rough game for compLexity. I think they have the ability to bounce back. I'm a little worried that they might be arguing a bit after this game. I think the rough spot for compLexity was, how do you rotate back? How do you get out of that spawn trap that OpTic put you in?
Okay, tell me this. You you competed at the pro level for a while. What is worse, losing a game like this 5-4 when you lose in the final 60 seconds, or just getting blown out from the opening spawn? Like what is
getting
worse?
blown out.
What's worse going forward? Do you think getting blown out?
Mm-hmm.
It's not more painful than like a last-second loss?
I don't think so. I think whenever you get blown out, it's just like, then you start second-guessing, like, you start questioning your confidence in the game. You start questioning your skill overall. With a last-second hero, it's like, wow, we were right there. If we did, maybe this one thing differently, we could have walked away with the win, but...
Yeah, I can see that. I'm kind of curious. It probably depends on the player a little bit, maybe the team. But, yeah, a rough one, certainly. I know we were a little bit focused on what OpTic was doing right in that one, but that was...
They did everything right.
It was a 6-0 lead from the opening 90 seconds. It's tough, unfortunately, to find much positive there for compLexity. It was just a really rough game. The first 2 matches, pretty back and forth, pretty close. compLexity did an excellent job taking the hard point, but now, forget that game. If you're compLexity, put it in the back of your mind. You just have to focus on the CTF. Yeah. Try to get to a game 5, because I think compLexity can beat anyone in S&D. I know they lost the game 2, but I think they can beat anyone in this league in Search and Destroy.
The one question about compLexity now is, how do they rebound after that loss? What's the team dialogue going to be like? Are they going to be arguing amongst each other? That's always been the one thing that's dragged compLexity down is, their team dynamic after they lose, after something goes wrong in the game. So I think if they keep their heads high, they focus on the positives going forward in the series. Sure. I think they're still in it.
From your experience in the past, if you're on a team and you have guys getting down on each other, the bickering starts, what fixes that? Is it really one person stepping up, kind of being a leader and being like, stop it?
And it would be Ricky for me on this team to do that.
Okay. That's kind of what I was looking for. Who's the guy that's going to maybe try to get them a little more focused on the next match? And let's take a look now. Scump, 38-17. Formal goes 33-18. Everyone gets involved in the carries, the throws. You saw them passing it around. Like it was pretty to watch from OpTic's point of view. frustrating and painful to watch, I think, a bit from complexities, because that's what's scary about them on this map. I like the long-range tosses you were seeing into top barn, into top grandmas, and that's what's scary sometimes about uplink as a game mode. It is, I don't want to say it's snowbally, but to a degree, if you get the spawn trap and get control, things can get ugly quickly for your team. And that's almost,
it's kind of like a domination 3-cap, you know?
Well, there's two things that separate top uplink teams from average uplink teams, or good uplink teams.
All right, spit some knowledge at me.
Being able to take advantage of those control opportunities when you can get the spawn trap on. But I think even bigger is the team trying to get out of that spawn trap. Like, that's like the hardest thing to do, right? Have the discipline to either all four rotate back, or...
It's similar to CTF in that point where, you know, you spawn so far away. Is it worth rotating back to your flag? Do you overextend?
Yeah.
It's a tough decision to make, but you got to be sure that whatever you decide on doing, you do it as a team. That's really the big thing. You can't do like a 2-2 split saying, you know, I think the right play is to rotate back. No, I think that the right play is to overextend.
Yeah, and that's not, I'm just talking generally. That's not a knock to complexity, because they tried to rotate back a couple times, but they had scump in the back of their base. L trigger to the sub.
I mean, I think in that point in time, you need to bring out like a smoke grenade. Cut off that line of sight.
Okay.
Close the distance between you and the player who's already behind position.
That's
but
interesting
I'm
to
not
think
sure
about.
if they even had smoke grenades.
It's interesting to think about, because we don't really see that at all too much in uplink.
Yeah.
Like smokes, but that would be a good way to maybe get out of a bad trap like that. You know, obviously if you have streaks or something to deal with it, great, that's easier. But yeah, smokes might be something utility-wise that helps you get out of that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely something I've been preaching for a long time. I just like to get creative with things. I mean, you know me. I talk about Call of Duty all day. I think of all these crazy plays and situations that can arise and you know, how you combat them. But it's something that complexity probably have talked to great lengths about, and I'm sure they'll be going back and reviewing that theater. But like I said before, early on their series, OpTic Gaming, they are the best at, you know, when you make a small mistake against them, they'll make it seem like it's the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life. Like, you know, maybe like a hesitation on rotation, you decide to let a player sneak by, just something small like that.
Yeah.
OpTic Gaming could just blow it up.
One that stands out to me is thinking about the first time OpTic and Envy played. And I think Envy had a 4-point lead in Fringe Uplink, same map, with, what was it? I remember we did the first theater rewind of that. Remember, it was like a 4-point lead with 30 seconds left. One mistake happened from Envy. Next thing you know, it's like you're going to overtime. Like, how did that? What just happened? And yeah, it's brutal. Small mistakes can certainly hurt you. But then OpTic Gaming is also a team that, well, we saw in Hardpoint, they can be the kings of small mistakes by not rotating early, playing a little bit sloppy in rotations. But now all that matters is capture the flag. We're getting ready to go, and not surprised to see that protect whatsoever.
Ban incoming from complexity.
They love to go after Blast Suppressor, because this is a map, you know, a lot of these maps set up for 3 lanes, but due to the movement in this game, it's very tough to keep track of those outside wall runs. You can really get behind players, disrupt. Blast Suppressor makes that a little bit more difficult. Just
surprise Afterburners made it this far, by the way.
Well, what do you think disrupts the ability to do those outside wall runs and make those big plays? Do you think it's Blast Suppressor or Afterburner?
I think Afterburner for the timings. I think if you're just trying to slow everything down and rely on your sound, Blast Suppressor.
Okay. Well, that's the fact it's protected here, and if Afterburner doesn't come off, I mean, this favors OpTic pretty heavily, right? Just from the ban protect.
Yeah, nothing here to slow the game down. Whenever you allow OpTic to dictate the pace of the game, that's when they're going to be playing at their best, and you don't have really anything here to disrupt that.
And this isn't Stronghold CTF. This is a map that can pick up pace. You know, you'll see 4 or 5 caps.
I mean, just like we saw with DT earlier today against LG.
That's true. That was pretty darn fast paced for sure. I know it only ended up being, what was it, a 3-1, something like that?
Yeah,
3-1.
But a lot of action going on both sides of the map. This is one that, you know, can get to a stalemate pretty quickly here, but there's a lot of ground to cover between both sides of the map.
The more gunfights, the more engagements you're going to see into CTF, the more it starts to favor OpTic. And I think the ban protect didn't slow that at all, didn't limit that. But again, guys, if you are watching maybe for the first time today, you know, we've talked about it a few times, so we have our Stage 1 finals coming up April 1st through 3rd. If you'd like to come out here to Burbank, California, watch the action. You know, for the qualifier, due to the studio we were in, we didn't have basically room for any sort of live audience. Now you've got the option to come out, hang out here at ESL, watch the action. We're going to have a lot of great matches.
It's going to be a lot of fun, guys.
Teams. Oh, I'm pumped, man. Because Matt left. Matt's actually probably flying out
yeah.
now. He's flying to Australia, New Zealand for their stage 1. As soon as we're done with Wednesday's matches next week, I'm traveling to Europe for those, and then both we're coming right back, and it's right into North American stage 1 finals. So it's gonna be a fun 3 weeks. I'm gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I'll be here for North America.
It's gonna be fun, man.
It's gonna be a great time.
I'm excited to go over to Europe. I know a lot of you guys probably watch the European matches a bit too, but I've really enjoyed watching Machine and Momo. Man, I think they're great. And I'm a little bit picky. I'll be honest. Since I commentate, I'm a little bit picky sometimes on what commentators I like as far as duos, like how they combine, how they gel. Because I'm a guy that likes a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of banter, and God, those two are great. I'm looking forward to going hanging out with them.
I think just Europeans in general, they have just really good banter between each other.
That's true. They'll take the banter game a little bit further than we do here in North America sometimes. But guys, getting ready just to edit the score streaks here, and we will be hopping right into the game. OpTic looking to close it out. compLexity looking to push it to a Game 5. Game 5 has been where they've been able to kind of stay alive in this league. But now they'll be getting a shot here of evac, capture the flag. And I'm just trying to think of, I think would you say the weakest game mode of OpTic is CTF? I think if you probably looked at percentages on, it's tough because they have so many 3-0s. They haven't played that many CTFs, I guess. But I'd be willing to bet their win percentage is lowest on CTF.
I don't know. From what I saw from them at the last land event,
that might be another stat that I've made up too.
They lost a couple of search and destroys. But I mean,
Search
when they got eliminated
from
H2K, they also lost 2 respawns against them.
Yeah, I'd be curious to take a look at that. I just feel like
it's tough because like they're good at like every game mode, but if you were to pick one that's like their weakest,
well, it's hard because they haven't played that many CTFs.
Yeah.
If so, what is it, like half their matches are 3-0s or something like that?
Yeah, they have 10 of them last time I checked.
10 3-0s, and they have, how many is it? 16 wins. Well, let's switch over to my screen if we can. Production team, is I don't know what just happened to.
I died.
Revan's side. I look over and just saw a black screen. I was like, all right, well, that's fun. We'll hop right into mine. Taking a look now at Nameless as he's trying to push forward and may be in a position to get a pull. Crim6 waiting for his teammates. They can tell they're spawning up there in Kitchen, that there is somebody in and around the base able to pick up one as Nameless. 3 down for the side of OpTic Gaming. Now, what do you try to do here? Take a look at the minimap. You can see pressure flying in from those green arrows. compLexity on the hunt.
Well, OpTic Gaming, they're just looking to stabilize, right? So these are important defensive kills for them to make, just so they could push up and test for mid-map control coming off respawn. For compLexity, you're trying to set up a push coming in from multiple angles as Miracle Seed falls. So that essentially stops the push from compLexity. Only Parasite now in a position to put pressure onto the OpTic flag.
Yeah, and it's the 2 players pushing over from OpTic that I'd be worried about. It's now Karma getting forward. If he got in behind, so he might just wait for a kill or two. He decides to take things into his own hands, so he's going to get a pull out. If whoever died there, if Crim6 had won that one, I thought for sure it was a cap, but he didn't even need Karma doing it by himself.
Though.
And he could get close to streaks if they can get this cap.
You got players on both teams now in a position to maybe get that return.
It's Nameless on one side, Formal on the other. Okay,
that's
clean
scary.
that up. Let's go back over to Formal now and see if he can get it done. He's not. Scump is next up. He knows there's a weak player. Doesn't have Kinetic yet to work with, but there's 2 players he's got to deal with pressure from.
Yeah, what if Scump just lets that player run over towards AC?
And sneaks around the right, maybe?
He's got smoke grenades to use as well. But the scary thing about Karma now picking up kills with the flag is he gets that score multiplier. So before you know it, he's going to have some streaks.
Yes, yeah, he's getting closer and closer. He's 300 off his Lightning.
And both these teams in this situation, they're going to play it as safe as possible, right? compLexity, they're fighting to stay alive in the series. OpTic Gaming, they're looking to close out here. So they're going to push up very slowly, very methodically. They're going to check all of their corners and make sure nobody sneaks by.
Okay, let's talk about maybe not this particular map, but just in general. If you're in a stalemate like this, how do you like to deal with it? You know, back when you used to play, do you send 2 players? Do you wait for the team to make a mistake? What do you like to do?
I send one to sneak, and when I mean sneak, I mean you don't shoot anybody. You try to be as sneaky as possible, as stealthy as you could be, and you leave 2 back to defend. Usually it was me pushing out.
This is why I love casting with you. These bits of knowledge.
What would you do, Maven? What would Maven do?
I would just tell my team to hold tight because I'm about to go huge. I would kill all 4. I get the flag return, my team would score.
If there's ever a point in time where we were teaming together at an event, you would be the last person I would trust to get that return.
You'd be like, you'd kill yourself so I could pick up the flag.
Yeah. Yeah, man, just sit tight. Daddy's here. I'll handle it.
All right, well, one player did get in up top and has blast suppressor. See if maybe he wants to push around the outside.
I think he goes down low.
Ooh,
yeah.
I think he got spotted out.
Yeah.
Nice awareness there.
Everyone knows about that by now. It's tough to hit that at a perfect timing these
Well,
days.
that's what you mentioned, though, trying to be that guy that makes a sneaky play, and that's what he was going for.
I think if you're on the side of OpTic, that would work out really well. Just you see the setup from compLexity. Nobody really looking out for that. So if you could wall run like all the way around, you could actually come behind Parasite and get the return.
Uh-oh, and who's this, though? Who's this?
Ricky, he's got Heat Wave. Certainly something to aid him in getting this return.
He's got a lot to deal with,
He thinks someone's in that room. And he doesn't. Heat Wave finds one, takes out the defender, but
I don't think he connects on the flat carrier.
Wait. On the other side of the map, what's going down? It's Crim6. He's able to find one. Parasite pops his camo to defend himself. But Crim knows this. Oh, he comes right over. Oh.
Nice play. Dude, that camo had to have been pretty close to falling off. I like that Crim tried to back away. And he saw it pop, saw it triggered, and tried to give himself enough time there. But just not much you can do. Great stuff by Parasite.
So just like we were saying about Karma, that he gets score multiplier from getting kills with the flag in his hand, same about Parasite. So these are guys you want to stop early on. As there are 45 seconds remaining, players starting to drop for OpTic. Karma is all alone right now. Formal just waiting for his opportunity to pounce on this compLexity squad, and he gets shut down. So now it's all about the defensive kills from OpTic.
Well, Nameless. If he killed that player crossing, he would have been able to challenge a 1v1 fight there with the flag carrier, but now everybody's going to rotate him back. But it's Miracles now coming on the other side. Oh my god, if they all rotate across, there's one. Can he find more? There's a second. He gets it. He can get the return. He's got it on the other side. Parasite puts it through. Clutch
and
plays.
they're running another one. They're running another flag. It's in the hands of Ricky. compLexity with a chance to...
If they get 2 out of this in the final 30, go. Use your tiny little legs. Run. Crim's behind him. He gets it through. 3 seconds left, and there's the cap. What in the hell just happened in the final 30 seconds?
And the HCXE from Karma gets Ricky just after he caps. A great series of plays from compLexity. Miracles gets it all going with that kinetic armor. He gets the return. Ricky, knowing the situation very smartly, immediately goes for the pull. Gets it out of the OpTic Gaming base. His teammates got the cutoffs.
That was
they finished the half with 2 flags.
Somehow a 42.5-minute standoff just turned into a 2-0 halftime lead for compLexity.
And this is exactly what we were saying, you know, in CTF, it can go either way here.
That is insane.
And now it's shaping up to be another game 5 to end the day.
That is insane. You know, you talk about the clutch factor from compLexity. Ice in the veins. Parasite,
they start
Miracles.
off the second half with 2 HC kills.
Interesting. I like it. That allows them to get maybe a little bit of map control. And look at the map now. They've got complete control here of middle, top, and bottom, just starting to inch their way forward. A couple gunfight wins. They may have a good opportunity. Now, if you're Ricky, I was going to say, you might be able to get into a sneaky position here. Wait for a kill or two to go down. So, and then you can get a pull-out.
We say this all the time there in CTF, but OpTic Gaming, they need to pick up the speed here, and that could allow more players from compLexity to sneak through and get behind enemy lines. And now this is where playing sneaky can really start to pay off.
All right. Well, I mean, the more it gets desperate and speeds up. I mean, OpTic wants to play fast, but the more it gets more,
like, this is perfect for
desperation.
Miracles. He just needs to wait. If somebody crosses, like, this is perfect because everyone from OpTic, they're pushing. They can't afford to check all these different corners. They probably won't even find Miracles.
Well, he just needs kind of a call out.
Oh, they find him now.
Yep, they did rotate back and were able to pick him up. And now the pressure coming in. You got to win some key gunfights. Ricky is able to get 2. There is more coming, though. Several players. He tries to hold this sneaky corner. It's a one-on-one at home. Doesn't matter. Crim going to get cleaned up.
And now compLexity, they're pushing out that top side of the map, pushing right through these vents. As Ricky working alongside Miracles, one player along the left lane, that's going to be Karma, and he could get behind compLexity here, but he's relying. He's going to rotate back.
Dead silence and blast suppressor. See, I would rotate back.
Yeah.
I would go through.
Oh, you would rotate.
I'd wait for 1 or 2 kills to come in and get the pull. He knows they're all there, so he's got to pull it now. Not much options he has. Look at the point of view from Nameless as he's trying to get it out.
They're not pulling it though. They're playing for the return.
I think that's going to change.
The longer you wait,
that changed.
Like it gives more time to compLexity rotate back. And
well, they've got it out. Who's got a chance to make a play? Probably, Miracle's going to rotate back, so it might actually end up being Crim able to make a play. You've got to be scared to your flag carrier. Your player, defender, drop back. He saw him there, tries to wrap around. He's still trying to play sneaky.
Camo. I think he's waiting for Camo
Oh, yeah, that's wise. I thought he was just going to challenge that.
Pop it now, pop it now. Pop it.
Oh, he pops it, but not on the player that matters. How's he still alive? How's he still alive? They're pushing in. Can't get the return, though.
I think Ricky used his Heat Wave, and Heat Waved his teammate there, too. So that could have gone Very wrong for complexity.
I wondered how he was alive for so long. It didn't connect with Krim. And yeah.
Honestly, you might have to have Karma push up here and help with slaying.
I mean, the longer this stalemate goes on, the better it looks for complexity. You just want to waste time right now.
And look, who's hitting the wall run at the top side of the map? Parasite's going to be fighting a 1-1 here with Camo for the return.
Oh, and he's going to clutch it.
He's got
Afterburner. He's got Blast Suppressor. He's got all the utility he needs. Yeah. This
Karma knows. Karma's like, oh god, something's about to happen.
Karma's that guy that like always seems to have a clue. I want to see Parasite's point of view because he's gonna be the one popping the camo. He's just trying to find him. He's just trying to find him. He can't find him. There it is. Finally gonna get it. There's the return. Got the flag out. So return's gonna happen on both sides here. Complexity still leading 2-0.
That's heartbreaking for OpTic, man.
They
fight all that time to get a return. Scumpy might be the hero OpTic needs, and he gets the return.
He did get it. He did get it. So Krim should be able to score. Minute 40 on the clock. If they tie, they can tie this up.
We're getting so antsy here behind the commentator desk.
Yeah, I think I just danced a little bit on accident. I was trying to stand. Oh, God.
Who knows when your legs are going to start to give.
Yeah, how long until you need crutches to get around? Or what are those walkers called? Nice movement, Krim.
3 down for OpTic Gaming, form of the last member alive. No. This is looking like a complexity cap. Take a look at the spawns incoming for OpTic Gaming. Wow. They got a long way to travel. That's a guaranteed cap if I'm complexity. And
it has to be. Nameless is going to have this cut off with a sight. Yeah, good luck. I don't think it's going to matter. Yep, there it is. 3-1. 3-1. That's a huge counter cap. I mean, not exactly a counter, but with the timing of it, they score within what, pretty much 30, 40 seconds off the back of OpTic's. Excellent stuff. One player going around the lower wall run. That was Karma. See if maybe he can get a flag out, make some sort of crazy play. He's going to get one. He has Heat Wave, but he is pinned.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go. 2 up for OpTic. We're going to a game 5, buddy.
That'll do it.
I still can't believe the end to that first half. We need to. That's when we might talk about in Theater Rewind. The end of that, like, how did that break down? That
we're going to Theater Rewind the whole week.
God, like, you have. It was a stalemate till 30 seconds, and then they get 2 caps through. That was just incredible stuff.
Great plays coming in from complexity. Showing how to play some CTF. Ricky, oh, he's phenomenal in this game mode. 17-8. He's currently on a 6 spree. Yeah, that's going to do it as he starts to earn some score streaks. Complexity, they're going to force the game 5. We're going to Hunted for some search and destroy action after Complexity closed this one out. 3-1 over OpTic Gaming.
I thought he got killed before he could even call it in, but he got it off before Karma pushed through. All right, well, it started fast. We had 2 3-0s to open tonight. We got a couple of game 5s to close it out. OpTic, Complexity, it's coming down to the wire. And, I mean, if you were... OpTic's probably played in like 3 game 5s. Complexity's played in about 40.
Complexity beat them in a game 5.
Well, wouldn't that be funny if Complexity ended up 2-0ing? I'm trying to think of something similar. Oh, kind of like, you know, Vitality, like 2-0 Millennium.
Yeah.
But then they didn't even make it in though. But Millennium, kind of a top team. They were number 2, I think, in the standings in Europe, and they weren't able to get in. Vitality, even though they beat the top team twice. Complexity, you would end up going, well, 1-1 with FaZe.
2-0 versus OpTic.
2-0 with OpTic, and I'm trying to think what they did against Envy if they went 1-1 with Envy as
well.
What
about Rise? What they do against Rise?
They've done pretty well. They've kind of split. I know that we've been giving, you know, kind of going at Complexity a little bit just over the course of today.
They always play the top teams tough.
Just because they struggled these past couple weeks. They have. It's 3 or 4 losses in a row. They haven't been looking very good, but they are playing OpTic so tough. And this win, this matchup doesn't mean a ton to OpTic just because they have that #1 seed solidified.
But I'm sure at the same time they want to be winning these matches. They want to have the best record possible.
But it's really important for Complexity here to just stop the bleeding, try to get the best seed that you can.
Yeah.
And that is now the second, well, the 3rd game overall in which every player goes negative on OpTic, but the 2nd respawn as well. Because I believe, yeah, in game 1 and game 2. Or sorry, game 1. No, just game 1. Okay. The second respawn, where they all end up going negative, which is kind of odd respawns for them.
Here's some of the highlights. This is the clutch return for Miracles with kinetic armor. Takes out 2 players. As Ricky pulled the flag after, they get 2 flag caps at the end of the first half. Just superb plays at the end there for Complexity. It got pretty close, especially with a Parasite going for the return there. Turns out OpTic Gaming got their return.
Are you back in the lobby? All right,
yeah,
we can go back
here.
We can go back over to your screen. That's why we have 2 set up, just in case something goes wrong. I looked at the stream. I was like, that's black. Your screen's black. All right, I'll take over. Everything falling apart, but we got through it.
You know, I think that's the first time I cast a Black Ops 3 without driving.
Really? Yeah. Well, that's what's funny with you. I always drive, but you get to drive. It gives me a little bit of a break. Just get to cast. Don't have to worry about Codcaster. You do a great job. High five me there.
Yeah.
Here, do you want me to use hand sanitizer first?
Yeah.
Here. I'll clean them up. Oh, that's everywhere. Okay, that's literally. You should see the globs of that on the floor.
It's
Good stuff. Good stuff. And I just realized we're not in the lobby anymore.
Oh, we're not? We're changing up the lobby?
I believe that we are. And this is, again, for the Game 5, Hunted, going to be the map. Did we just join each other? What is going on here?
I joined you. I thought you were in the lobby.
No, I was not. What just... All right, I think they're remaking it. I tried to join the actual game, and then I realized it's just you and I in the lobby. Well, let's cast each other's gameplay. That'll be real fun. Well, it'll be more fun for me. Probably not fun for you at all.
No, you're not the most skilled Call of Duty player.
Back when I was on the grind, I got a little bit better. I was Nuketown. I was that guy just constantly standing like at the head glitch.
Yeah,
I was either in car.
I bet you don't even know that they took it out of the game.
No, I did see that, and that's why I haven't played Nuketown at all. That's my spot. It's my bread and butter.
Listen, Maven, we need to have an intervention, man. You used to be friends with all of us. You used to grind out Call of Duty every night.
I still play from time to time. I played the campaign a couple times over the past few weeks, but I'm a guy. I play like every game. Like I grind everything. There's something wrong with me.
Listen, man,
the tender age of 31, video games are my life. We did hear another question come in from Twitter. I believe I heard who is our MVP here over the course of stage 1 thus far. So I think that you and I, and thank you, North Lane, for the question. I believe that our midseason MVP was Scump. Is it still?
I want to say Saints.
Because this resurgence by LG?
Yeah. If they make it in the top 8, I think you can make a case for Saints.
It's hard not to...
you could make a case for a lot of different players. I would have to...
If you're talking about the best player on the best team, right now it's Scum. If you're talking about the player that is most important to his team, which I think is more MVP kind of, who's like the most talented player, who means the most to their team, because let's be honest, Scump is incredible, but OpTic Gaming as a whole, I mean, they're all really, really talented. And then I kind of want to say Attach, but that's sort of the same scenario. I don't know.
I think I'd be valuable to the team. I think I look at maybe Saints.
I don't hate the Saints pick at all, because I think Saints is one of the more consistent slayers in the game right now, and he's been a big part of their strong finishing UMG, their resurgence now in stage 1 when we didn't even think they were going to qualify. Now they're looking pretty good to do so.
I'm trying to think of who else you can make a case for.
I feel like I have to pick Scump or Attach because both of them have been insane.
Slasher?
Slasher's been good, but with Envy's recent struggles, I mean, it's not on him, but it's tough when they're on like a 4-loss streak or whatever it is. Okay. I'm doing it. Attach is the best player in the game right now.
Really?
I said I thought the end of Advanced Warfare Zuma was the best player. Scump yelled at me one night. But I think right now I'm going Attach. That's hard.
I think Attach is great.
I'm going Attach.
I think he's certainly a phenomenal player. I think you toss him up there in the conversation with Scump.
I think he's a better search player than Scump. That's where I get the separation.
Okay. I think when it comes to slaying, sometimes Attach has his struggles in that department, but there are games where...
What game are you watching?
I mean, look, he's in the hardpoint so often. Like I'm just remembering the games where he gets 3 minutes in the hill and just so little interactions.
That's so rare, though. Usually he's getting time in the hill and also killing everyone. I'm going Attach. I'm going Attach. And this is during an OpTic Gaming match, so I can't wait to see my mentions.
I think if you give me like a most clutch player, I think Attach might be number 1 for me.
That's a big part of the reason I have him there, because I think him and Scump are similar players in their ability with the sub. I just give the S&D
plus
edge
Attach
to
could bring the sniper to the team.
That's another
The more
reason.
I think about it, the more I find myself agreeing with you.
It's one of those two. It's Scump or Attach for me.
Okay. That's fair enough. Can you switch over to Codcaster so we get this game started?
I did, man. They changed lobbies or something?
Yeah, they did change lobbies. We were trying to join the lobby.
It's so long. You don't understand. Like, we have great, this lighting. That's why my head looks like a snow globe and shiny. But the angle I have of my monitor here to see the lobby, like they all look like they're on the same team. I can't
sometimes
tell.
I look at yours just to see if I got the
That's
colors
what I
right.
need to do. Yours I see perfectly fine. Mine, they're all on the same team. I have no idea who's on what.
So I think the funniest question I got of the night was who would win in a battle of the hairlines, me or you?
See, I think you've got a great hairline.
We were both dealt a pretty bad hand.
You've
with
got
genetics.
a great hairline. Hey, you stop that. You stop that.
At least I have hair. So at least I have that going for me.
Yeah, who has a hairline? That's more the question. Mines, I don't even know what this is. This is actually, like, seriously, I took a black marker and just... That's what's here. All right, Banter Tech, Game 5. Let's get into it. Rev and I are losing our goddamn minds here as we finish out the night. And there you see a blast suppressor protect again. Parasite, not surprised he got rid of Overkill. They do not want to deal with 2 to 3 snipers again. And because of that simple ban, that's going to narrow it down to 1. I think you'll only see formal sniping. You can't, it's too much of a liability to have just backup secondary pistols.
Okay, so Crim6 goes after the flashbang. Probably see the concussions follow up, yeah. Surprised compLexity actually didn't protect the concussions. They usually do that in Search and Destroy. But it didn't really work out for them in that second map. We'll see as it's Miracle's turn to choose. Shiva's still in play. SVG will get banned out, so really respecting the sniper rifles on the side of OpTic Gaming. Shiva's still in play though, as well as Rapid Fire. Those might be the 2 things to round it out here. Which means Overclock would make it through.
I'm just trying to think. So you take... Like these are the bans that I think you needed in Game 2.
Yeah?
Well, I guess, I mean, the sniper still has an impact here, but I don't know as much as Stronghold. Like, you can't run multiple snipers here, but you do take off Formal with the Overkill and SVG ban.
Thermal makes it through, though. So I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a PO6 be used.
I don't think I've ever seen Formal use a PO6.
Okay.
Or a Locus, maybe a Locus.
I'm just saying that because I'm sure these guys watch some of the other matches. You see the success somebody like Nagafen or even Attach brings out the PO6 here.
Those are the only, Elevate and Phase are the 2 we've kind of seen fool around with those a little bit. I'm just curious, now if we see any sniping or if the sniping's been eliminated. If there's no sniping right now, I think it's got to favor, well, okay.
I don't think it favors anyone.
Favors compLexity a little bit more. I think it gives compLexity a little bit more of an edge. You do not want to be dealing with multiple snipers. The Overkill takes care of that.
Yeah.
I think if there's no sniping whatsoever, it balances out a little bit more.
Okay. I can certainly see where you're coming from.
I'm not saying it's like a big edge for compLexity. No, I think it balances out a little bit more. I mean, who would you take if there was a... Actually, I was going to say, like, who would you take in a sniper duel, kind of Parasite on Formal? But I've actually seen them have one-on-one sniper duels a lot, and it's kind of been 50-50 in a lot of the ones I've seen. Parasite, no slouch when it comes to hitting those difficult shots.
I remember him sniping back in Black Ops 2. He used to make so many different plays happen with the sniper rifle. Same with... Karma as well, all the different angles that they were trying to use. And Formal has really been on the come up in terms of top snipers as of late in the Call of Duty titles. So you got to respect what he brings to the table. Good to see compLexity banning it out and showing him the respect.
I think that's he's been one of the better snipers over the past 3 titles. Really, he's made an impact. So not shocked to see that there.
I remember sniping against him in Ghost. Wow. It was a rough time.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, well, that's all he could do in Ghost S&D, though. There was no variety in his gameplay in Ghost S&D. He's developed quite a bit, but that's why I love. Ban protected times with some teams is a little more stale or standard than I'd like it in respawns. But in S&D, I think you get a lot more variety, and usually the variety you get, the shake up is typically around snipers. So it's fun to see as players try to target each other. I have no idea where to go with this.
A little surprised to see the stock makes it through here.
I'm saying compLexity is going to win this game. What do you have? 2 losses in total for OpTic right now?
Yeah.
I think compLexity is going to win this for 2 reasons. 1, they're the team kind of to some degree with their back against the wall. They're trying to fight for their seed a lot more. OpTic's kind of got that nailed down. 2, the amount of Game 5s they've played in and clutched up, I think, is bigger than most people realize. Just that experience playing lots of Game 5s.
Maven, you just lost 6,000 Twitter followers.
Oh. Come on, guys. I'm not biased. I like to pick it as I see it. Yeah, it's just gonna be hate between picking Attach as the best player in the game and between picking this.
Listen, man, it's okay to have an opinion.
All right, but
stick to it.
But the 3 players I'm looking out for the most, still similar to Game 2. I really do believe that Formal, Parasite, and Ricky, and this is just going off of stats, really, are 3 of the better players in Search and Destroy.
Look, the one reason why I'm a little against your pick is because last time I saw OpTic Gaming play this specific map, they went down 5-1, I think, against CLG, and they came all the way back to win that match. So I know OpTic are well practiced on this one. I'm still a little worried. I can't lean towards one team or another because I feel like, as you were saying, compLexity, they've really found their way into the standings off of the back of their Search and Destroy gameplay and their Game 5 victories.
Yeah.
OpTic Gaming, they haven't really been challenged that far to so many Game 5s.
That's what's scary too, though. When you're as good as OpTic, you're a team that probably plays better when you're challenged, when you get like you get a little pissed and you're like, I don't want to be playing in a game 5. Like we should have won this 3-0. Like let's just destroy these guys. I mean, think
it's not competitiveness
their game
from
5,
the players.
Game 5 they had with Envy early over the course. It was one of the fastest 6-0s I've ever seen in my life. I think Envy had like 4 or 5 total kills. They completely just obliterated them. And I don't know. I've seen Crim6 teams just do that in the past. They just go. He in particular, Crim is one of my favorite players to watch in like game 5.
Remember him back at Full Sail?
Yeah, when he just what did he go? Wasn't it like 10-0 or something? And they won 6-0.
At Full Sail?
Or no? What event am I thinking of where he? I think it was against OpTic where he went nuts in game 5 and he went like 10-0 and they won in like 8 seconds. Maybe I'm thinking of Ghost. Was this Ghost?
It might have been Ghost. I'm thinking of Black Ops 2 Full Sail. compLexity come back down 0-5 to win the grand finals.
Oh yeah. That was. I think the craziest I've casted was 5-1. I don't think I've ever had a 5-0, which is still the most absurd thing. Like that's another thing to consider in this game. That's so much harder to do. Like, I love weapons and abilities in this game, but that's so much harder to do because the little bit of snowball you have, like, when you're up 5-0, you got to think you've got so many more kills that you can
gotta
close
make
it out.
mistakes with them.
You have to make mistakes, and we've seen it. Have we had a 5-0?
Now, look, we've seen plenty of mistakes
we've
from
had,
specialist use. We've seen plenty of clutches come from them as well.
OpTic threw away, or sorry, LG threw away a 5-1 lead over OpTic,
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
Freight S&D.
CLG against OpTic here.
So OpTic... Okay, well, are they
OpTic,
going to go down 5-1 right now? Is that what
OpTic's always a team. You just need to find a way to close it out early, right? You can't let them linger around in the series and you allow them to just string rounds together because that's how they're going to build momentum. They're really good at just adapting and reacting to what the other team is going to throw at them, and that's the reason why they have so many comeback wins.
So if you get that early lead for compLexity, you just have to shut it down, close it out.
Use all the tools you get.
Don't try to save those for later rounds. Just try and win it.
You got a kinetic armor, you use it the next round, and you try to just close it out as quick as you can. You don't want to be playing OpTic in those later rounds.
Well, I wasn't sure if compLexity would be able to close it out in hardpoint because they've struggled with that a bit this year. They did it in this game 1. They got the early lead. They shut it down. They closed it out. They got the 50-point victory. Or 70, whatever it was. In this one,
that's all that matters is they won.
If they get the early lead, can they shut it down? If they get that, up to 3-4 rounds, are they able to just take the victory? But now we are counting back in, guys. Sorry, we just had one of the guys disconnect from the lobby. Thank you so much for your patience. As always, we appreciate you viewers very much. Without you,
you're smart.
The world just does not go around.
You're loyal. And I appreciate all of you.
I agree with everything you said.
You probably don't understand that reference because you're just a little too old.
Smart, loyal, we appreciate you. What is that from? It's like Jerry Maguire or something? What are you talking about?
You just proved my point.
I just realized I said the movie Jerry Maguire. It came out in like the early 90s or something. No one's watched that. Watching it right now. Like, what is Jerry Maguire? People are Googling Jerry Maguire right now.
You just threw me a little off guard because I had no idea what you were talking about.
You've never seen that movie with Tom Cruise? Cuba Gooding Jr.? Show me the money, Revan! Show me the money! That's all right, man.
We're slowly losing Maven.
All right. Round 1, Game 5, OpTic, compLexity. Watching Crim6, and I have lost my mind a little bit.
All right, he's going to spot one player in the water here if he decides to push forward. But it looks like it's going to be an A bomb site push to kick things off here for OpTic Gaming. Crim looking around, trying to find first blood. He's the furthest one pushed up. They also have the option to rotate back to B. It looks like they're going to explore that. As a Crim was spotted over near the A bridge. And that's forced the rotation from compLexity. He does spot one in the water here. Go for the shots. He can't get the kill as Miracles finds first blood. And now after that, compLexity, they're starting to rotate over near the B site. So OpTic need to work a little bit quickly here.
The guy that I'm worried about is Karma. Because look where he is to a degree in no man's land.
He spots one.
How he plays this, if he can pick up a kill or two, he is pushing the whole way around. He's not going to be there in time, and he's going to get caught. So never mind. He has 0 impact on it whatsoever. Now it's formal in a 1-on-4. That quickly gets eliminated. 4 up, 4 down. compLexity does not lose a man.
This is big that Miracles not only has both kills, but he gets the defuse, not for his score streaks, but look how close he is to Overdrive. We played 1 round.
That's insane. And remember what I said? Like, Ricky and Paris are the guys I always talk about for this team, but sometimes, man, Miracles just blows up and has those, like, 12
Miracles
kill
has been playing,
SMDs.
he's been looking like the Miracles of old. as of late.
And that's, you know, I wonder if he got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder when that Reddit thread popped up and said, is Miracle what's holding complexity back? I swear, man, he has been, just statistically, he has been performing much better. So, you know, that happens sometimes. You get knocked down a little bit, you see something like that, and you're like, screw you guys, man.
Yeah, I'm going to prove all of you wrong. It's a great motivation for some of these guys. As Miracles, he's going to throw out the smoke when near the B side, but it's just a distraction. Ooh, it's to lure OpTic Gaming out of position so they could hit A.
I like this. I like this a lot. They're so scared of who pushed up really close mid map, though. That's Formal. So where is he? He's been just crawling his way up here.
Meanwhile, Karma's just going to be like, we're going to peek A. I don't see anything. Oh, complexity, they're moving a little bit slower than I would have thought here over at A.
I just feel like OpTic doesn't have much information. I mean, they seem to be aware they could be flanking from behind. Now they got a lot more. Getting that kill, that's bomb. Oh, it's popped up on the map. I was like, did they just kill bomb carrier? There it goes. Disappeared. All right. Threw me off for a second. Now they still got bomb, still pushing here around the back. You know, you've got control kind of the OpTic spawn. You're down a man. How do you think they opt to play this?
It's always good to flank into the B site, but because OpTic have pushed so far out that I think they kind of expect this coming. You see all the arrows they've turned around. They're clearing out the entire spawn, so they know complexity are coming from this side of the map. What was working for them early in the round was the element of surprise. That's all gone now as it's up to Parasite, a 1v4. Able to find a kill. The bomb's down in front of him. He's getting flanked out. He's not going to clutch this round for sure. This is going to be a round win for OpTic Gaming, but I would have liked for complexity to move a bit quicker in that entire round. I felt like they waited too long for OpTic to make a mistake instead of forcing the action to happen.
At one point, I think I was correct in saying I didn't think OpTic had a lot of information, but the reason they got some is, like you said, Formal pushing up so far. Because think about it, when they smoked off B, Karma was inside A, Krim was inside of B. They had no map presence whatsoever except on the sites, basically, until Formal pushed up to like their spawn and picked up that kill.
I thought by the time that smoke expired, complexity would be inside the A site.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And now it's going to be OpTic here on offense. Crimsix, the player, watch. He's about to get overdrive. We're in the third round. That's the power of overclock, man.
Mr. Game 5, the number of times I've seen Krim just go huge. I know this isn't a grand final right now, but I'm into it. All right, who are we going to watch now? Formal's going to get some pressure. He's ready for one. Is there another player? There's another player below him. I don't think he has any idea a second player is pushing him, and he's going to get caught. Okay, it gets traded out 3 versus 3.
Everybody turns towards Parasite.
Well, yeah, 2 players getting aggressive like that across bridge. Doesn't happen that frequently from the offensive side, or sorry, defensive side. 2 versus 2 now. And they're split.
Yep. They're getting a bit closer together, but it's still pretty far away. Parasite does have a frag grenade, and you got Flak Jacket on one of the players. Krim is the player without it.
And it looks like almost OpTic is just waiting for a mistake, maybe, from the side of
they're trying to catch someone out of position.
Yeah, because they haven't made any progress.
This might be perfect timing.
They have 30 seconds. They saw him. They saw him. Parasite's dead. Parasite should be
taking
dead.
Some fire, though. Ricky's coming from behind. OpTic Gaming aren't moving.
Complexity's crazy. Well, they waited so long for a mistake, they're just running out of time.
Yeah.
They tagged up Parasite so much, but he ultimately got away. He stayed alive. Now they're going to be able to re-peek potentially, unless he just has to stop the plant. All he has to do is stop the plant.
He's getting challenged here over near middle map.
All right, so he can't. Yeah, nothing he can do. If they're going to get bombed down, now they're set up in a 2 versus 1. Good job by Krim kind of rotating back and challenging that. Now, Mr. Clutch, Ricky coming up with big plays all the time. He gives Krim the Gunson, destroys him there, and now turns it into a 1 versus 1.
I saw him. He saw him. He definitely saw him.
Scump.
He's got him.
He's got it lined up. He's got him tagged. Did you try to slide? Oh! He slides out right as he switches guns, doesn't get the burst, and now there's 20 seconds left. Scump has run to another map. He's currently on evac. He got the hell out of there.
Yeah, that's a round win for Scumpy now.
Oh my God!
Ricky picks up the kill at the end of the day.
Oh Lord! If he didn't switch guns there and he had, I think, a couple more bursts left in his M8, if he just kept firing on that, Scump's dead.
Yeah.
I think he probably kills him on that slide across.
You have him trapped in the corner. I think he wasn't expecting Scump to slide out like that. Was trying to push in and spray him down with the VMP, but things don't work out Ricky's way. Give OpTic Gaming the lead here in Game 5. Flipping through the players because overclock's available. They're going to be pretty close to earning these abilities. You got overdrive. That's the only thing available here for Krim. He's using it here on defense.
Well, Krim's been a man on a mission. I mean, I know he lost that gunfight to Ricky, which, you know, could have just been awkward shots from him, but he's 5-2, so he's been shooting well, clearly. Doesn't matter as they end up winning the round. he doesn't get a whole
This
lot.
is scary because I don't think he has flak on.
Oh yeah, if someone hits up with a nade, which is coming. Which was coming. I thought that was directed at Krem. Did they see how far he got pushed? First kill is going to be for Formal, though. They've got the 4v3 advantage. I don't think they realize Krim is pushed up this forward. And look at how much map control you have right now if you're OpTic. You have complete control of the B site. You've got control of mid-map. You are so screwed right now if you're complexity. All you can do is hope they push, make bad plays, and miss some shots because you're still basically pinning your base. Now they're going to be wrapping, or sorry, in your spawn. They're going to be wrapping the whole way out here.
Parasite's pushing out the lane. Ricky working towards some streaks as well.
Yep. I mean, this was your only option, really. If they had one player playing kind of sneaky down here, would have shut this down, but 25 seconds left. They've got to get the bomb
like
down.
Every time, like both these teams, when they try to get a push going, there's just like no time left on the clock.
Where did Formal go underneath the bridge?
Yeah. And Karma doesn't spot him planting the bomb here. He might as he pops up. But you got Heatwave available here. You know you're getting pinched from both sides, and just like that, 2 go down for OpTic Gaming. All up the Scumpy trade. Ricky.
Another one-on-one. Another one-on-one. Scump clutch last time. Can he do it here? Nope, it's Parasite answering back. 2 versus 2, and that was what, a 2 versus 3?
Yeah. 2 versus 3, you know, complexity just trusting each other to watch over there, and Parasite not backing away from the challenge here from Scump. Closes out the round, and we're back to being all tied up. This has been such a back and forth game 5 so far. Nobody really establishing a lead so far. And keep in mind, Krim used the HCXD as well as his overdrive there.
I'm going to check out Specialist. Everyone on OpTic is, other than Krim, is, I don't know, 60, 70% of getting towards theirs.
Players on complexity nearly got them all.
Miracles is really close to his overdrive. Ricky has his heat wave. Parasite's close to his camo. So a bit of an advantage here on the side of abilities for complexity.
And I missed that first blood from Miracles as he finds Karma. Now he has his overdrive. He's going to be a distraction over here near A, maybe. He's just looking out for any OpTic Gaming members that are going to be pushing this side. You got Scump with the bomb over near middle map. It's a 4-on-2 for OpTic. They just need to be decisive here and work together. But Formal, he's all alone here near the back A bridge. Meanwhile, Scump's moving in through the balcony.
They're flying in. They just both pick up a kill here. They can turn this into a 2 versus 2, similar to what we just saw Ricky and Parasite coming up clutch. Miracles, though, picks up Scump. Formal now by himself in a 1 versus 4. We saw Nagathan do it last week. Can Formal do it here? There's one. He's got 30 seconds to work with, and he doesn't have a chance.
complexity take the lead off of a big round from Miracles. They go up 3-2. Let's take another look at this in the round any kill cam. Formal, he was anticipating a player coming from the right general direction, but Miracles had already pushed back through that A cabin. Catches Formal off guard. And now complexity, they have a lot of abilities to work with, and I'd like to see them use them as early as possible.
Yeah, you were talking about the fact, take advantage while you can. You've got the 1-round lead. Miracles is going to burst it. He's going to start flying now. He should probably take that waterfall route, right, over the middle. He's going to go through a window. He should be hitting this jump.
I think they're all here.
Krim's been playing B. Are they ready for this? Oh, this is so awkward for him. You see that burst player push out. You just can't react in time. There's 2 across the back as well. But it is traded out. So 3 versus 3 here, and everyone lined up in or behind B tunnels.
Yeah, and the HCXD is going to spot all of this. They saw at least 2 people. Yeah, that should be 3 right there.
Let me check. You have Flak Jacket on everyone, but no, I'm sorry, Scump actually the only one right now with Flak. Karma and Krim do not have it.
Scump finds one, he takes down Nameless. Man advantage now in favor of OpTic Game, but here comes Parasite. He's able to find one. Now he's got Camo to work with as well. Catches a player backing out as he shuts down Scumpy. It's all up to Karma here for OpTic. Finds one, gonna challenge the bomb site with the heat wave.
Karma! That was disgusting. You thought Parasite was making the big plays, and Karma coming up huge here. Unbelievable.
Yeah, make sure to write that down for the top plays of the night.
I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down right now, okay?
So I think Ricky also used this heat wave there as well. So both get spent in that round. And keep in mind, Miracles also used heat wave. So let me just flip through. Yes, Ricky did use his heat wave trying to clutch that round out. So Parasite still has his camo to work with. Nameless still working towards kinetic.
Oh my
Scump's
God.
about to have his own kinetic.
That looked
Formal's
like it
pretty
was
close to his own
just
camo.
totally falling apart from OpTic, and Karma just coming up clutch. And I thought Parasite might get all 3. Oh, that was disgusting stuff.
All right, so now OpTic taking things a little bit slowly here in round number 7. Just looking for anybody from complexity that's being a bit overly aggressive, try to catch someone out of position as they'll wind up coming back here towards this B site and gear up for a hit.
They're playing it slow right now. You got 50 seconds on the clock. Like you said, looks like they're teeing up to hit B. You've got one player. Is he right below window here? Yeah, he's right down in the water. Let's see if he can actually catch him. Did you see anyone drop in? I don't think he saw the first player cross, but it looks like he got a call out. Miracles coming in, should be able to get behind one. Nice positioning there as he is able to get the kill. All of a sudden, Formal by himself. He was in a 1v3 earlier, or sorry, 1v4 earlier. Now going to be a 1 versus 3. He sees one, able to clean that up. He does have camo to work with. If he gets one more kill here, might give himself a chance, but doesn't have a lot of time. He's got to go. 20 seconds on the clock. Bomb down on the B site. How do you even play this? He doesn't have any time. He has to go. Not able to win it there as he has to push forward. Yeah, I mean, that's the right mentality. You just got to go. Not much you can do with that little time.
Yeah, exactly that. And he gets caught switching his weapons. Nameless picking up that kill. And keep in mind, Formal now will have camo to work with in the following rounds. Parasite still has his. I think everybody else working towards theirs. Scump may have gotten his kinetic armor. But compLexity still... They retake the lead there, so you have kinetic, you got camo, almost another overdrive.
And on the side of compLexity,
just camo.
Yeah, just camo and sort of almost kinetic. I mean, not probably this round, but maybe for next. Nameless will have it. All right, well now they're trying to push forward here. There was somebody got real aggressive there on B, but you can see they're backing up on X-Ray.
Yeah, he got EMP checked, so Nameless is going to be pretty careful checking this corner, but that player from OpTic did back up.
Yeah, they've completely retreated now into the back of those B tunnels.
Oh,
and now, are they
on the flank?
Miracle saw him. They saw each other. This should be a challenge here. Who's going to be able to take this gunfight? Miracles hits him a couple times. He gets tagged up a few as well, and it looks like that player retreated here to steps, worried that he might get pinched. This is Karma. Good stuff so far.
Bomb planted at B, by the way.
I'm going to be going down. Now, you got to try and collapse on this, but I'd be so worried about Miracles.
Yeah, Miracles can gain a lot of information for his team because everybody from OpTic Gaming is gearing up for the flank here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep him in mind this entire time. Do you send 3 and let one player worry about Miracles? You got to attack. I mean,
yes,
no
I
one's
think
really
you send everybody forward.
They're
that guy can't help his team at the bomb site.
Foremost picked up one. Yeah, you have a 4-on-3 if you go. Just hope the timing works out. Here comes the kinetic. Pops it, checks it. Not finding anything. There's one coming out of water. Both coming out of water. Pushes, gets one, gets two. Krem picks it up, and now you have Miracles, the lone man by himself, and just not able to make the play. He would have had to pick up him and the bomb diffuser as well. But
Scump's kinetic armor paying off big time in that round. Soaks up enough damage for OpTic Gaming to make the trades happen. And because Miracles wasn't here to help out his team, OpTic Gaming fight up the man advantage. They work the trades in their favor, and they win the round.
And that was that's kind of why I asked. It's a tough decision. Like, you just have to go. You're so worried about that player from behind, but you're right. It's a 4v3. Do the retake. Take the man advantage. And Miracles, he would have. Was he a little delayed in rotating? I mean, it looked like he tried to get there as soon as they started.
He was worried about being challenged on the flank again. And Parasite also used his camo that round, so that's something important to keep in mind. So did Formal, it looks like, as well as Overdrive will get popped here from Crimsick. Scump did use kinetic armor, so a lot of abilities being used here. And Krim, he's got some early position here over near A. Is he going to get spotted out here? He does get EMP checked, and he forced to back down.
Well, they've got a lot of pressure. Look at the rotation coming now towards A. Everyone getting set up in the back. Nameless has a pretty good line of sight to deal with the outside wall run. He should find one in a second. He's able to gun Formal, pick up one. 4-4, man. This has been a crazy game. The quick rotation out of the backside of B really paying off here as Nameless is going to get another one. Will be traded out, but it's going to be 2v2. Scump and Krem going up against Miracles and Ricky now. 45 seconds on the clock. Bomb down here at back patio. And now they're going to be trying to make a play.
Miracles is just waiting.
Waiting to pounce here. And they could pinch pretty nicely here. Oh, he's coming up a player beautifully. Oh, it doesn't work out. I thought he was going to end up getting him behind. Now it's Ricky in a 1v2. Can he clutch up? You saw him get so close earlier.
He did pick up this VMP. Will help him as he moves it up close.
Not a lot of ammo, though. I mean, enough, I think, to get it done, but only 30 bullets left.
Oh, this is a tough situation for Ricky as he needs to start moving. 20 seconds remaining. Shoots the HCXD, but he does get spotted, and he gets cleaned up after that, as it's going to be OpTic Gaming now on match point.
1 round away. OpTic from taking this Game 5. compLexity battling for their seeding in the top 8. Does not want to dip any lower, at risk of being the final seed in. They could be the 8th seed if they collapse here at the end. That would mean they'd be playing OpTic Gaming. We'd have a rematch for our first round matchup, which would be just insane. It's OpTic on defense as well. Let me check.
Kinetic from Nameless, nothing else, just the HC from
All
Krim.
you have is Kinetic for
Nameless.
Nothing else. Yeah. Sorry. I was checking to see if there's anything on the side of OpTic.
Crim's using his HC, by the way, just to spot over near B, and this is very smart from OpTic. You have the HC to spot for information, and you send everybody else towards A. If it winds up that complexity push here, and he gets one, almost two there with the HC. Great way to open things up here, and what could be the final round. You still got Nameless with his kinetic armor, but OpTic Gaming, they've pushed so far up the map. Now Formal's going to make his presence known. He moves in, he takes down Miracles. Now he's taking fire. It's going to be Nameless, has to pop his kinetic. He does so, but he gets immediately evaporated. Ricky, the last one alive, and just like that, OpTic Gaming close it out.
That is it. 6-4, Game 5. What a back and forth battle we just had. It was OpTic dropping the CTF and the hardpoint. And you see both S&Ds actually go to OpTic Gaming, so not really how you thought this best of 5 might play out. But if you were worried, OpTic Gaming, now they've solidified their top 1 spot. If you were thinking, hey, maybe they're not going to take this seriously, that was not the case. It was a battle down to the Game 5, and they clutched up. Incredible stuff there.
What a way to, what a weird day of matches. We start out with some of the quickest 3-0s we've ever seen, with CLG taking out Envy, then TSM falling to FaZe. Then we have a crazy Game 5 and where DT wins a Game 5, and then this series, we thought it would probably go the distance. It does, but it's OpTic Gaming closing this one out 6-4.
Well, as soon as they took that hard point, you thought, Game 5.
Yeah.
It looks like a Game 5. That's just, as soon as they stole that, that's the route you thought it would go. Even if they won the Game 2 S&D and had a 2-0 lead, you thought it could still get to a Game 5 potentially. But a crazy one. We'll take a look at the stats in just a moment here from this final matchup on Hunted. And that'll be our last, this is our last game here for Week 10. Next week is it. That's it. 2 matches for each team.
After that, we're moving into the Stage 1 finals. It's going to be a great time, guys, as we take a look at the scoreboard.
Mr. Game 5.
Yeah, Crim 6,
Dude,
11,
every
and 6.
Game 5 I've ever seen Crim playing, he just dumps on everyone.
Listen, Crim is one of the most competitive players I know out there. This is a guy, he hates to lose, more than anything else in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy how time and time again he can clutch up in these big game moments. And we'll take a look at some highlights here to close up the night. I just want to check really standing schedule. And remember, we have our Thursday show. It's tomorrow at 5. We're going to be talking a little bit about Australia-New Zealand Stage 1 final coming up this weekend. We'll spend some time talking about relegation teams as well, as there's a lot to chat about going into the final week. I just want to break down who's playing who has to win, what's that magic number for some of these teams, as it's really coming down the final stretch. But it's been great. Let's check out the standings first and foremost. You can kind of see how everything breaks down here for the remaining teams. compLexity, with that loss, I think is now going to be, at 10-10? Yeah, they're at 10-10, but they're safe.
They're safe, yeah. It's
really just now, it's LG, TSM, H2K, TK, and CLG all fighting for 2 spots.
Still that 14 block. Anything can happen going into the last week. I mean, look, if TK have a 2-0 week and then TSM maybe have an 0-2 week, TK makes it in.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I had sort of mentally just kind of written off TK and CLG a bit coming into today because they had some tough matchups.
Yeah.
Against teams that were favored over them. I thought they were in so much trouble, but they're clutching up when it matters. Let's check out the schedule now for our final week. We'll take a look at Tuesday here on the primary stream. TSM CLG doesn't get any bigger than that. TK has to beat Rise. Yeah. OpTic FaZe, your premier matchup of the week when we're talking about standings. 2 teams playing at such a high level right now.
H2K Luminosity.
Holy hell. The opening and closing matchups are ridiculous. Those are 4 out of the 5 teams in that bubble area.
Yeah, those are some very significant matches, and then you just throw FaZe OpTic in there?
Yeah, it's like, oh, guys, you're worried about relegation? FaZe OpTic again. This is going to be absolutely nuts. I know we're pumped for next week, but remember, 5 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, we'll be bringing you the recap and also breaking down, who's playing who, what's their magic number, who needs to win, as we're getting so close to figuring out who our relegation teams are, who our Stage 1 finals teams are as well. But hey, it's been fun. It's been a fun day of Call of Duty. We had some quick 3-0s, some crazy Game 5s. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.